Life always throws surprises in its wake, often in the form of trials we couldn't have foreseen. People evolve, friendships change, and what we thought was secure sometimes seems to slip through our grasp. This can unsettle us. The sadness of being alone, the pain of being rejected, the fear of abandonment. We all experience these feelings at some point. But especially in these uncertain times, there's an important realization. Everything we need to be happy, calm, and whole is already within ourselves. There's something special about understanding that we are enough. It's not just a nice phrase or a fleeting thought, but a firm truth we can rely on in life. This isn't about closing ourselves off from others or avoiding contact. It means learning to be strong in our own power, regardless of who is with us or not. It means building a deep inner strength that cannot shake us, no matter what is happening around us. This strength doesn't happen instantly, but grows bit by bit, shaped by the choices we make every day. Choices to choose quiet over noise, reflection over distraction, and belief in ourselves over the desire for validation from others that we are good enough. In a world that constantly competes for our attention, time, and energy, the greatest gift we can give ourselves is to learn to look within and create a quiet, safe place in our hearts that no one can take away. The Stoics, an ancient group of thinkers, showed us how to do this. They taught us not to stay alone or to ignore others, but to rely on ourselves. They encouraged us to focus on what we can truly influence and let go of what we cannot change. This attitude helps us move through life with more clarity, strength, and calm. Why is this so important? Because life always brings surprises. People who are close to us can drift away, promises can be broken, and many things don't turn out the way we want. But none of this can truly determine who we are, unless we allow it. When we make our happiness or our sense of security dependent on others, we give them control over our peace. But when we learn to meet our own needs and find our inner happiness, we experience a freedom that no one else can give us. The freedom not to wait for others to make us feel good, the freedom to no longer be afraid of being alone, and the freedom to live entirely on our own strength. In fact, these seemingly empty times aren't empty at all. They're full of opportunity, just waiting for us to fill them with meaning, growth, and self-love. How do we find this freedom? It starts with how we see things, that we see being alone not as sadness but as an opportunity to no longer believe that someone else needs to complete us. We need to understand that peace doesn't come from others, but grows from within ourselves. These changes take courage and require us to have faith in our ability, our worth, and that we are enough. Think of it this way. Every moment you spend seeking approval from others is time you could be using to give that approval to yourself. Every minute you spend worrying about what others think is a missed opportunity to discover who you really are. And every day you spend waiting for someone else to make you happy is a day you could be creating that happiness yourself. Finding inner peace isn't about turning away from the world. It's about turning toward yourself. It means realizing that the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. This connection doesn't depend on what's happening outside, whether people stay or leave, or how life changes. It's constant and reliable, and it's based on being kind to and respecting yourself. You don't have to be perfect to walk this path. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to have the courage to begin. Start by quieting the noise around you and listening to the small voice inside. Start by forgiving yourself for your past mistakes and learning from them. Start by treating yourself with the same love and care you would treat your friends. At first, it may feel strange or even uncomfortable. The quiet might seem too loud, and without distractions, you might feel naked and vulnerable. But persevere. In the silence, you will discover clarity. In the discomfort, you will grow stronger, and in your vulnerability, you will find a strength that no one can take away. Everyone possesses the power to find this peace, no matter what happens in life. It belongs not only to the brave or flawless, but to anyone willing to look within, let go of what no longer serves them, and create a life that feels whole from within. This path isn't easy, but it's worth it because at the end awaits a peace that isn't just temporary and doesn't depend on external things. It's a peace that stays with you, no matter what's happening around you. And what happens when you find this peace? You begin to see life differently. You're no longer dependent on others liking you. The fear of being alone diminishes. Relationships become something you choose rather than something you need. Your time belongs to you, and your happiness no longer depends on others. It's not about pushing people away or being alone. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, so that every friendship or relationship is built on strength, not dependence. This peace doesn't mean you won't have difficult times. It doesn't mean you'll never be sad or hurt, but it does mean you can face those difficulties with calm and confidence, knowing you have everything you need to overcome them. This peace allows you to remain flexible without breaking, to lose without losing yourself, and to love without losing your own strength. As you embark on this journey, remember, it's not about reaching a fixed destination. It's about building a way of life, a life where your worth is determined by who you are, not what others think of you. A life where your happiness is something you create, not something you borrow from someone else. A life where you stand tall, even when the ground is shaky. This is your invitation to begin now. Not tomorrow, not when everything is perfect, but today. Start looking within, taking care of yourself, and finding the peace that has always been there, waiting for you. Because when you've learned to be strong in your own strength, you'll realize that life isn't about what you lack, but about what you've always had, the strength, the wisdom, and the courage to live fully, no matter what. Are you ready? While the world hums incessantly with its hustle and bustle, there comes a moment when everything falls silent and you are alone with your thoughts. At first, this can feel like an empty space, perhaps a reminder of what is missing or what might yet come. But it doesn't have to be. In fact, this quiet is not emptiness. It is like a blank canvas waiting to be painted with your thoughts, feelings, and inner growth. Solitude is not about the absence of sound. It is about being with yourself. It is a place where you are free from the distractions and demands of the outside world, where you can simply be you. In solitude, you have the chance to reconnect with your true self. What if this quiet time isn't something to be afraid of, but instead holds the very strength you've always been searching for? Often confused with sadness, loneliness sometimes feels like a heavy shadow that follows us when we experience difficult times. Like heartbreak, loss, or the stresses of everyday life, it creeps in when we feel abandoned and pulls us into a sad spiral. But solitude is different. It's a safe haven, a space you can retreat to. Here you can hear the quiet voices of your heart, without being interrupted by the noise of the world. At first, solitude can feel strange or uncomfortable, especially in a world that always wants you to be connected and busy. We learn to be constantly doing something, always around people, and fill the silence with activity. But once you embrace solitude, it becomes a powerful source of inner strength. When you step away from the constant hustle and bustle, you hear your own voice much more clearly. In solitude, you don't have to perform for others, meet expectations, or play a role. You are simply you. It's not about being alone or excluded, but about discovering the true you, your strengths, weaknesses, dreams, and fears. In this space, you get to know yourself in a way that is impossible if you're constantly seeking approval or allowing yourself to be distracted. Solitude brings clarity. The noise and chaos outside fade away, and you can see your own desires and thoughts more clearly. When life becomes too much and you feel lost, solitude is like a reset button. It helps you release the stress and expectations that have accumulated. This allows you to rediscover the person you truly are, before the world told you how to be. In this quiet space, change begins to grow. Through solitude, you also learn to trust yourself. You become your own source of comfort and strength. Instead of seeking validation from others, you realize that you are enough just as you are. This isn't about becoming cold or isolating yourself, but about empowering yourself. When you enjoy your own company and value your inner world, you realize that you aren't defined by the people around you, your successes, or the things you own. You are rich in your own thoughts, values, and experiences. Solitude also sharpens your ability to listen, not only to others, but especially to yourself. Without the noise of the outside world, Your inner voice can become louder and show you the path you truly need. The silence helps you hear your inner wisdom, the quiet knowing that always knows what's best for you. With fewer distractions, you can make decisions that align with your values, thus strengthening your self-confidence and belief in yourself. When you learn to embrace solitude, you begin to consciously fill the empty spaces in your life. Instead of distracting yourself or spending your time on things that don't do you any good, you focus your attention on what truly matters. You might find yourself finding a hobby, learning something new, or reflecting on your dreams and values. Solitude is like fertile ground for your ideas, where your mind can wander freely and discover new things without having to pretend or impress others. Many great ideas in history have emerged precisely in such quiet moments where the mind was allowed to think freely and without boundaries. Solitude is also a place for healing. It gives you the opportunity to confront your thoughts and feelings, to truly feel the pain or burden you're carrying and to let it go. In solitude, you don't have to quickly dismiss your feelings or push them away. You can approach your grief with loving understanding and allow yourself to feel deeply without judging yourself. This way, you learn that your feelings, even the difficult ones, are important, but they don't have to define you. Solitude gives you the time and space to heal, grow, and emerge stronger. Ultimately, loneliness is nothing to be afraid of. It doesn't mean being alone or empty. It's a rich and powerful place where you can reconnect with yourself, reflect on your life, and find the strength you need to move on. When you embrace solitude, you open the door to personal growth, new ideas, and healing. You learn to become your own support and strength and discover the power of your own presence. Over time, being alone becomes an opportunity to take good care of yourself, a chance to nurture your body, mind, and soul. When you spend time alone, you become more aware of your habits, strengths, and areas where you can grow. This knowledge of yourself is a special gift that helps you relate better to others and embrace life more easily. You are no longer dependent on others to complete you because you have learned to fill those gaps yourself. You are whole, not because you are lacking something, but because you fully accept yourself. Spending time alone can also help you appreciate your relationships with others more. When you enjoy your own company, you approach friendships and socializing because you feel full, not empty. You no longer expect others to save you, but rather seek out people who enrich your life in positive ways. This makes your friendships more honest and meaningful. You also learn to set healthy boundaries that preserve your inner peace, while still allowing you to be lovingly connected with others. At its core, being alone requires courage. Courage to face yourself and look at the parts of yourself that would otherwise remain hidden. But when you do, you find a strength that doesn't waver. You realize that you are enough, not because of what you do or who you're with, but simply because of who you are. The best thing about being alone is that it's always there for you, no matter where you are. You can always turn within and find comfort. You don't need a special place or perfect circumstances for this, just your attention and the will to understand yourself better. Being alone isn't about escaping the world, but rather about getting to know yourself better through it and finding inner peace. As you grow to enjoy being alone, you may find that what once seemed empty is now full of possibilities. The quiet moments no longer feel uncomfortable, but instead become a place where you can gain new ideas. Being alone becomes a safe place, a place where you can relax, reflect, and recharge. This is where you lay the foundation for a life that truly feels like your own. Every time you spend time alone, you become stronger in who you are. You learn that you are not alone even when no one else is there. You gain a great deal of courage, wisdom, and peace. When you understand this, your perspective on yourself and the world around you changes. Solitude invites you to slow down and truly experience life. In these quiet moments, you recognize the beauty of the world, the sunlight filtering through the leaves, the wind whispering through the trees, the gentle rhythm of your breath. These little things show you that joy lies not in grand deeds, but in being fully alive in the moment. You don't need to be afraid of being alone. It's not a punishment or a hole to be filled. It's a gift, a chance to reconnect with your true self. When you embrace this gift, you'll find a strength that will help you overcome all of life's challenges. You'll become grounded, strong, and ready for whatever comes your way. The journey to loving solitude isn't about being perfect. It's about continually being patient and kind to yourself. You learn to be your own source of comfort and strength, even when everything seems uncertain. As you delve further into the power of solitude, you realize it's not just a way to cope with difficulties, but a way to truly flourish. This path is in your hands, and each step brings you closer to the peace, clarity, and strength that have always resided within you. So take this step knowing that every silent moment alone is an opportunity to connect with yourself, the life, and the power you already have within you. When you immerse yourself in the silence of solitude, you may discover something surprising. The things you thought you needed to feel whole, people, things, or praise from others, become less important. There's a quiet freedom in this realization, a freedom that comes when you understand that true peace arises not from outside, but from within. Detachment is often misunderstood. Many believe it means losing joy in life or becoming cold and indifferent. But true detachment doesn't mean isolating yourself or not caring. It's a conscious decision to detach yourself from the external things that often determine how we feel and who we are. It doesn't mean not wanting relationships or love, but rather finding your independence and feeling power within yourself. The wisdom of Stoicism shows us that the more we make our happiness dependent on things we cannot control, the more we become trapped by what happens to us. True detachment means breaking free from these shackles. It helps us rediscover our own strength. In friendships or relationships, for example, love and dependence can become confused. When you make your happiness dependent solely on someone being with you or validating you, you lose sight of yourself. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you no longer depend on someone telling you your worth. You realize that you are already whole, just as you are. When you understand this, your relationships become healthier and more balanced. They are then no longer based on needs, but on genuine respect, connection, and mutual well-being. Possessions are another example where detachment is important. Things can make our lives more beautiful, but the Stoics knew that being too attached to things can also be a trap. If your self-worth depends on what you own, you'll quickly feel bad about losing something or comparing yourself to others. Detachment doesn't mean giving up everything or living in discomfort. It just means understanding that things are tools. They help you, but they are not what defines you. When you realize that your possessions don't define you, you can live a freer and more fulfilling life, without fear of losing something or constantly wanting more. Detachment also applies to what you achieve. It's nice to be proud of what you've accomplished, but if you measure your worth solely by that, you'll feel bad when things don't work out. The Stoics say that true contentment comes when we focus on the effort and good values, not just the outcome. When you detach yourself from the outcome, you can pursue your dreams with joy without putting yourself under pressure. This allows you to accept successes and setbacks calmly, and learn that the journey itself is important, not just what others think. One of the great treasures of detachment is emotional freedom. When you're no longer dependent on how others treat you, you're less likely to feel sad or upset about their opinions. Criticism doesn't hurt as much, and praise doesn't make you cocky. This doesn't mean you don't care about others, but rather that you don't allow them to dictate how you feel. When you detach yourself from the approval of others, you can truly be yourself and follow your own values, instead of always trying to please others. Fear, too, can be a chain that you can break with detachment. Fear of losing something or someone, fear of rejection or failure, often keeps us stuck in things that aren't good for us. The Stoics teach us that change is part of life, and nothing lasts forever. If you accept this, you can let go of things you can't hold on to. That's not a defeat, but a liberation. It gives you the opportunity to live fully in the here and now, without constantly worrying about what might be lost later. Detachment also brings clarity. When you're not always pursuing what's tempting outside, you see life more clearly. You realize how much energy you've wasted chasing recognition, success, or the next thing. With this new clarity, you can focus on what's truly important to you. You clear away distractions and find your purpose and direction, which are stable and fixed, not determined by impulsive desires or external pressures. Detachment also makes you more resilient. Life is unpredictable, and if you cling too tightly to people, things, or outcomes, it hurts when something is lost or turns out differently than expected. Detachment doesn't protect you from sadness, but it helps you cope better. You learn to let go with dignity, without becoming bitter or despairing. This strength doesn't come from coldness or detachment, but from the wisdom that your true power lies within yourself, not in what you hold on to. Another great gift of detachment is gratitude. When you stop dwelling on what you lack, you learn to truly appreciate what you have. Detachment makes it possible to enjoy the moment without constantly longing for more. This gratitude doesn't come from lack, but from the deep knowledge that you are enough just as you are, and that what you have now is already worth a lot. Detachment also brings simplicity into your life. It helps you free yourself from unnecessary desires, obligations, and distractions, making more room for what truly makes your life beautiful. Simplicity doesn't mean renunciation or deprivation, but quality over quantity. It's about cultivating friendships that strengthen you, doing things that inspire you, and having only the things that truly matter. In this simplicity, you find freedom. The freedom to live without the burden of too much, and to choose for yourself what matters to you. Finally, detachment makes you stronger on the inside. When you no longer depend on outside things for your happiness or worth, you become truly independent. This doesn't mean you'll never need help or support from others, but it does mean your inner self remains strong, no matter what's happening outside. Your inner strength is like a source of confidence and calm, helping you face life with courage and confidence. It gives you the strength to stand firm even in uncertain times, knowing that you can weather any storm because your true strength is rooted deep within you. Letting go also means finding a healthy balance. It's not about either holding on too tightly or giving up everything, but rather navigating a healthy path between the two, thoughtfully and mindfully. This balance allows you to enjoy life to the fullest without it controlling you. You participate in friendships, value things, and have goals, but you know that your inner peace doesn't depend on them. The Stoics often reflected on death to help them learn to let go. They knew that knowing that life isn't eternal helps us focus on what truly matters. When you understand that everything changes, you stop wasting time on unimportant things and live more consciously. This perspective doesn't make life less precious, but more so. You learn to appreciate each moment without clinging to it, and to love deeply without fear of losing it. When you let go, you make room for new things, for growth, joy, and peace. Detachment is not an end, but a beginning. The beginning of a life that is free and honest, not born of fear or compulsion. Freedom here doesn't mean having less but needing less. It means seeking your value not in things, but in who you are. When you practice detachment, you'll notice that it doesn't separate you from the world, but connects you to it in a deeper and better way. Without the burden of too many attachments, you can move through life more easily and clearly. You no longer see people, things, and experiences as sources of your happiness, but as parts of a greater whole that you can freely enjoy without it controlling you. This freedom changes how you see the world. Challenges are no longer something you fear, but opportunities to grow from them. You react more calmly, are more thoughtful, and can better endure life's ups and downs. Letting go shows you that you don't have to control everything to be happy. You learn to trust yourself, to trust life, and to let go of what no longer serves you. Detachment doesn't mean isolating yourself or rejecting the world, but rather gaining freedom. It means choosing not to be controlled by desires or fears, but rather to maintain your own peace. This is courageous, demonstrates your independence, and leads to true freedom. When you let go of what lies outside of you, you regain control of yourself. You realize that everything you were looking for wasn't outside, but was always within you, waiting to be discovered. When you let go of needing things outside of yourself, the door to true freedom opens. But freedom alone isn't enough. True peace comes when that freedom is supported by emotional independence, a strength that sustains you no matter what happens. It's a profound change when you realize that your feelings aren't determined by what others do or say. Emotional independence doesn't mean ignoring your feelings, but learning to channel them so that your happiness and self-worth come from within, not from others. This starts with understanding your feelings. It's important to know why you feel the way you do, what triggers your feelings, how you respond to them, and how others can influence them. If you don't know this, you can react quickly and give others control over your feelings. When you take a moment to reflect on your feelings, you take the first step toward reclaiming your power. If you like the text, comment here, "I alone am powerful," to show that the power lies within you. This path requires honesty and reflection, as it can reveal uncomfortable truths about how much your emotional well-being depends on what others do or think. To achieve emotional independence, you must develop a loving and honest voice within yourself. Many people seek approval from others when they are insecure, but this makes self-esteem fragile. Emotional independence means learning to empower yourself. This doesn't mean constantly praising yourself, but rather recognizing your worth without others having to tell you. If you've made a mistake, you can reflect on what went wrong and how you can improve instead of waiting for forgiveness or praise from others. Moving from seeking approval to seeking self-respect builds your confidence and strength. Emotional independence also means setting boundaries, not just with others, but also with yourself. It's about noticing when you're giving too much, going too far emotionally just to make someone happy or avoid their rejection. Boundaries protect your power and help you honor your needs without feeling guilty. This doesn't mean shutting others out or being dismissive. It means being mindful of how much energy you put into your relationships and keeping it balanced. Boundaries also show others how to treat you and help you maintain self-respect. Learning to manage your feelings is an important part of emotional independence. Feelings come and go quickly. They can be very strong in the moment. By taking deep breaths, staying in the present, or writing down your thoughts, for example, you can process your feelings without being overwhelmed by them. When you learn to control your emotions, you can react thoughtfully instead of acting rashly. This exercise not only helps you stay calm, but also builds your confidence in handling difficult situations, making you even more independent. Self-examination is another helpful approach. When you take the time to reflect on your actions and feelings, you can connect the dots and understand why you feel the way you do. The point isn't to dwell on the past, but to learn from it. This will help you better master future challenges. Regularly reflecting on yourself helps you understand who you are, so you don't depend on others to tell you how to feel or validate your experiences. A clear purpose in life is also an important part of emotional independence. A purpose gives you a firm foundation to stand on, something to focus on when everything seems uncertain. When you find satisfaction in meaningful goals or values, rather than just in what others say or do, you are less influenced by their opinions or behavior. Meaning acts like a lighthouse that shows you the way in difficult times and reminds you of what really matters. Gratitude is also part of it, even though it's often forgotten. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you learn to see the world as one of abundance rather than scarcity. This shift in perspective makes it easier to deal with disappointments. Gratitude doesn't solve problems, but it helps you balance them out by remembering the good things. This balance makes you internally strong and helps you get through difficult times without losing heart. Emotional independence also means facing your fears, especially the fear of being alone. For many, carrying your emotions alone is intimidating because they feel helpless without praise or encouragement. But overcoming this fear changes everything. When you realize you can manage your emotions yourself, the fear of being alone diminishes. You understand that your worth doesn't diminish because you're alone or rejected, but rather increases because you're standing up for yourself. People who are emotionally independent also have better relationships. When you don't rely on others to take care of your feelings, you're more honest and open in friendships and families. Relationships are then not a matter of give and take, but of mutual growth and understanding. This makes it easier because you're not pushing your happiness onto others, but rather bringing your own sense of wholeness. This creates deeper, more valuable connections. Emotional independence also means letting go of how others think of you or react to you. It's normal to want others to like you, but this can be frustrating. When you let go of the need to control others, you save energy. Instead, you focus on what you can control, your feelings, thoughts, and actions. This attitude makes you feel lighter and gives you control over your life. Being detached doesn't mean distancing yourself from people, but rather finding a good balance. You can care for others without getting lost in their emotions. This allows you to love and help without forgetting yourself. This balance keeps you happy and strong, no matter how others behave. Another important effect of emotional independence is your resilience. Difficulties will always arise in life, but your ability to cope with them comes from your inner strength. Emotional independence gives you the tools to overcome setbacks without allowing yourself to be defeated. You learn to see problems not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. With this strength, you can embrace change and remain calm during difficult times. To maintain your emotional independence, you need an environment within yourself that empowers you. Habits that strengthen your self-confidence and promote your strength from within will help you achieve this. Things like meditation, exercise, journaling, or being creative are anchors that keep you grounded in your sense of self. They remind you that your happiness doesn't depend on others, but comes from within. Emotional independence is a path that requires nurture, not a goal that is simply achieved. The path to this goal isn't always easy. Sometimes the desire for external validation becomes very strong, or your own feelings seem overwhelming. Then it's important to know, emotional independence doesn't mean being completely alone. It means trusting yourself that you can overcome difficulties while maintaining your worth. You don't have to depend on others to feel safe. Step by step, you'll learn to listen to yourself, make decisions that are good for you, and be kind to yourself. Every small step is a victory and brings you closer to yourself. As you become more independent, you'll notice your inner peace and strength grow. You'll realize that others can enrich your happiness, but they don't determine it. This power changes how you perceive the world. It also transforms your relationships. Instead of seeking validation, you become a source of support for yourself and for those around you. Emotional independence is more than freedom. It's a powerful force that strengthens your self-confidence, clarity, and purpose. It's the foundation for a fulfilling life that comes from within and isn't determined by external circumstances. The path to emotional independence gives you a special clarity and inner strength that few things can achieve as powerfully. But on this path, there is an even deeper place. A quiet place where the noise of the world fades and you can hear the gentle voice of your inner wisdom. This silence is an important teacher that we often forget in our fast-paced world. Silence does not mean emptiness. It is full of insights just waiting to be perceived by you. It can guide you, show you hidden truths, and help you understand your life with greater clarity. In silence, you find the connection to who you truly are. These days, it's hard to find quiet moments. The constant stream of messages, the rush of everyday life, and the constant demands make silence often feel uncomfortable or alien. Yet, it's precisely these quiet moments in which we can grow the most. Silence gives you space to encounter yourself, without distractions and without pressure. Here, your thoughts can calm down and your heart can speak. In this quiet space, you get to know yourself better, without outside noise disturbing your view. Reflection, when accompanied by silence, is much more than just brooding. It's a conscious journey inward. You explore the origins of your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and try to truly understand them. This takes time and patience. Sometimes, aspects of yourself emerge that you may have previously ignored or hidden. But it is precisely in this honest reflection that great growth lies. When you address your fears, desires, and weaknesses, you can be more honest with yourself. This way, you can begin to make decisions that truly suit you, not just because others expect them or because it's habit. Silence gives you the opportunity to simply observe your thoughts without immediately reacting to them. Our heads are often full of worries, judgments, and plans, and that can be quite exhausting. But in silence, you realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the person observing these thoughts. This creates distance between you and your thoughts. This allows you to decide which thoughts you really want to pay attention to and which you can let go. If you practice this often, your mind will become calm and clear, and you'll be able to focus better on what's really important, instead of being cluttered by every thought. Silence is also a space where feelings can become visible and be understood. Sometimes we suppress our feelings or distract ourselves, which creates inner pressure and stress. In silence, you can stay with your feelings, listen to them, and understand where they come from. It's not about holding on to negative feelings or getting lost in them, but about acknowledging them so you can let them go. When you face your feelings, you give them a chance to heal and make room for inner peace. This clarity brings you balance and helps you let go of old anger and pain. When you embrace silence and its wisdom, you allow yourself to heal, grow, and better understand yourself, both yourself and the world around you. Silence helps you trust your inner voice. Without the noise around you, you can hear your own thoughts and ideas better. This inner voice is often drowned out by distractions, but if you listen carefully, it will guide you to decisions that are right for you. It takes time to learn to trust it, but once you can, it will help you make the decisions that feel right. Spending time in silence also connects you to the present moment. When you're still, you're more aware of what's happening around you, the feel of the air on your skin, the sound of your breath, how your body feels. This attention to the moment helps you avoid worrying about the past or the future. In such moments, you can find peace, no matter what's happening around you. Silence is not only important for yourself, but also helps you interact with others. When you are calm inside, you are also more relaxed in a group. You can listen better and don't have to talk all the time. This strengthens your connections with others and helps them feel comfortable. In silence, your creativity also grows. Without distractions, your mind can find new ideas and solutions. Silence gives you a free space to explore your thoughts. Whether you're painting, writing, or solving a problem, silence stimulates your imagination and allows ideas that are especially important to you to emerge. Silence also helps you grow spiritually. Many faiths say that silence is important for connecting with something greater, be it nature, the universe, or a higher power. In these quiet moments, you can feel a special connection. This experience can change your perspective on the world and yourself and give you a sense of belonging. Silence gives you strength. When life gets difficult, silence gives you space to reflect and the courage to keep going. It's not about ignoring problems, but rather facing them calmly and with understanding. Silence helps you find the courage to face challenges calmly. In silence, you also learn patience. In a world where everyone wants quick fixes, silence reminds you that good things take time. It shows you that it's okay to wait until something is ready, in the world and within yourself. When you're in silence, you accept that growth happens slowly, and you become kinder to yourself as you evolve. You don't need major changes to bring stillness into your life. Even small moments, like starting the day with a few minutes of peace or taking a peaceful walk, can help. These short breaks in the hustle and bustle of everyday life will make you feel grounded and clear-headed. Over time, these quiet moments will become an important part of taking good care of yourself. Silence also supports you in making better decisions. It gives you the opportunity to reflect calmly and without pressure on what's truly important to you. In silence, you can focus on what's essential, which helps you make decisions that align with your values. This makes your life feel clearer and more meaningful. When you open yourself to silence, you begin to appreciate the simple things in life. You notice the beauty of a quiet sunset, the whispering of leaves, or the warmth of the sun on your skin. These moments make you grateful, and this gratitude makes your life happier. Silence doesn't mean doing nothing. It means being fully present and paying attention. In this stillness, you find a balance between doing and reflecting, between staying with things and accepting them as they are. Silence shows us that we don't always have to control everything. Sometimes the best wisdom comes from simply being. The more you practice silence, the more you'll see how it transforms your life. Your friendships will become deeper, your decisions clearer, and your difficulties easier to overcome. Silence connects you with yourself and gives you peace and strength for whatever lies ahead. It's not a frightening emptiness, but a space full of possibilities for change and growth. In this silence, you encounter your true self. You look beyond the noise of worries, expectations, and distractions, and find a great power that has always been there. This discovery is not an end, but a journey that enriches your life with every silent moment. When you embrace silence, it becomes a teacher and friend, helping you understand yourself and grow. In silence, you can find your most honest thoughts and feelings, which help you get to know yourself better. This is where the conversation with yourself begins, listening to your heart and mind. This isn't just about reflecting, but also about treating yourself with kindness. When you are your own best friend, you build a strong relationship with yourself that helps you grow and change. We all talk to ourselves, even if we often don't realize it. How you talk to yourself influences how you think, act, and see the world. If you're not careful, this voice can be critical and make you doubt yourself. A good inner dialogue is like a conversation with a friend, honest but loving. The first step to understanding your inner dialogue is to notice it. Many people don't even realize how powerful their inner voice is. When you observe your thoughts, you'll recognize whether they empower you or hold you back, whether they are kind or harsh. This awareness is the beginning of change. If you don't hear what you're saying to yourself, it's difficult to change your thoughts. When you look at your actions and feelings, you can better understand them. This is called self-reflection. Instead of seeing mistakes as failures, consider what you can learn from them and how they will help you do better next time. This turns problems into opportunities for growth. Self-reflection allows you to be honest and kind to yourself, which is important for a healthy inner dialogue. As you practice your inner conversation, pay attention to how your thoughts sound. A harsh inner voice can weaken your confidence and hold you back. Replacing this criticism with loving and encouraging words isn't about being perfect, but about treating yourself with patience and understanding. Instead of, "I always do everything wrong," you could say, "This time it didn't go so well, but I can learn from it and do better." This way, you grow without hurting yourself. Your inner dialogue also helps you make decisions that align with your values. When you're unsure, you can ask yourself questions like, "Does this decision align with the person I want to be?" Or, "Will this help me achieve my goals?" This will make your decisions more thoughtful and meaningful. This helps you stay true to yourself and ensure that your inner self and your actions align. A good internal dialogue also means recognizing your strengths and weaknesses. It's easy to focus on what you lack, but it's important to also recognize what you're good at. Celebrating small successes builds your self-confidence. At the same time, you recognize where you can grow. This way, you stay motivated and honest with yourself without being too proud or too strict. Setting mental boundaries is also important. It's normal to think about mistakes or worry about the future, but these thoughts can drain your energy and create a sense of unhappiness. Setting clear boundaries for your thoughts allows you to focus on what's important. Mindfulness and journaling can help you foster positive thoughts so that your inner voice is reassuring. Your inner voice can also be calming. When you feel anxious or insecure, it reminds you of your strengths and successes. It helps you remember that difficulties will pass. This calm doesn't make problems smaller, but it does give you the courage and composure to face them. When you work on your inner dialogue, your life becomes clearer. Decisions become easier because you are guided by your values. Your relationships become stronger because you are more honest and self-confident. Your perspective on the world also changes because your inner voice supports you and helps you approach challenges with hope and believe that you can always continue to grow. When you practice gratitude in your inner conversation, it's like planting a seed of goodness in your heart. When you consciously focus on what you're grateful for, you begin to see the world with a new perspective. Instead of thinking, "I don't have enough," gratitude helps you redirect your thoughts to, "I have so much to be grateful for." This shift is very powerful. Not only does it increase your feelings, but it also makes you truly appreciate the simple things in life, the warm sunlight, the joyful laughter of your friends, or even the quiet moments of peace. Gratitude shows you that it's not always about having more. Sometimes it's simply seeing and appreciating what you already have. Your inner dialogue, the conversations you have with yourself, are like a mirror. They show you your beliefs, what's important to you, and what you truly enjoy. When you take the time to notice these reflections, you can understand what drives you, what brings you joy, what makes you happy, and what you stand for. This knowledge gives you the freedom to make choices that align with your true self, rather than just doing what others expect of you or what society says. Over time, this kind of alignment brings you a deeper sense of meaning and contentment, because you're not just living for others but for yourself. A wonderful part of inner dialogue is that it helps you heal old wounds from the past. We all carry wounds within us, things that have hurt or that we regret, and these are often difficult for us to deal with. When you address these feelings through loving self-talk, you can begin to free yourself from their grip. Instead of repressing the pain or letting it control you, you acknowledge it. You forgive yourself, learn from what has happened, and let go of the burden of the past bit by bit. It's not an easy path, but it is liberating. Healing through inner dialogue allows you to move on with a lighter heart, free from old worries. Your inner dialogue also helps you question limiting thoughts that hold you back. These beliefs often come from childhood or difficult experiences. They build invisible walls that prevent you from trying new things or growing. But when you begin to examine these thoughts, you may realize they aren't true at all. When you replace them with empowering thoughts, a new world opens up for you. Instead of thinking, "I can't do that," you now ask yourself, "Why not?" This way you can rediscover what is possible, and what once seemed like a limitation becomes an opportunity for you. To maintain your inner voice, it's important to stick with it. Just as you exercise your body to stay healthy, you also need to regularly engage in self-care for mental and emotional well-being. Whether you meditate, journal, or simply sit quietly, taking time each day to connect with yourself will keep your connection to yourself strong. This daily practice ensures that your inner voice will support you, guide you through difficult times, and help you become the person you want to be. Your inner conversation influences not only how you treat yourself, but also how you interact with others. When you speak to yourself with kindness and understanding, you will automatically be more loving to those around you. You approach them with more compassion, creating a peaceful atmosphere no matter where you are. Your inner calm radiates outward and makes you a better friend, partner, or colleague. When you learn to share loving and supportive words with yourself, you will also be a support to others. Over time, practicing inner dialogue will change how you see yourself. You stop measuring your worth only by successes or failures. Instead, you recognize that you are a unique and ever-changing being with infinite potential. This change is profound and important because it replaces the need for constant validation from others with a strong sense of self-acceptance. You no longer have to prove yourself, you can simply be yourself, and that's completely enough. If you'd like, consider becoming a member of the channel. This way, you'll not only support the channel but also receive special content. Click the link in the description and become a member now. But now, back to the topic. One of the most amazing results of regular inner dialogue is your resilience. Life brings many challenges, but when you face them, your inner voice reminds you how strong and capable you are. Instead of feeling overwhelmed or discouraged, you approach difficulties with courage and determination. This strength becomes an important part of you, helping you bounce back from setbacks and navigate life's uncertainties with calm and courage. When you trust your inner strength, problems become stepping stones rather than obstacles. Inner dialogue isn't a one-time thing, it's a living process that grows with you. The more you engage with yourself, the better you understand your thoughts, feelings, and desires. This understanding continues to deepen. This is beautiful, because it allows you to adapt your thinking and actions to truly help you. The more you engage with your inner dialogue, the more you discover the many possibilities within yourself and realize that you have the power to shape your life. When you become your own best friend, you build a strong foundation of trust, care, and love that nothing outside can shake. This relationship with yourself empowers you and helps you face challenges with courage, while allowing you to celebrate your successes. It's not just something you practice, it becomes a way of life that improves your entire life. By practicing your inner dialogue, you'll realize that the answers, peace, and strength you seek have always been within you, just waiting to be discovered. When you learn to speak kindly and mindfully to yourself, you'll see more clearly. You'll understand that many of life's worries don't come from within you, but from the chaos and noise around you. Be it in the world or in your environment, this clutter not only takes up space in your room, but also clutters your mind and heart, distracting you from the things that truly matter. There's a quiet freedom in simplicity, the ability to strip away everything you don't need and thus find a happiness that is easy, genuine, and lasting. Living simply doesn't mean owning less, but rather choosing what's most important and letting go of the rest. The world often tells us we need more things, more responsibilities, more success, but this often leaves us tired and dissatisfied instead of happy. Choosing to live a simpler life is courageous, especially when everyone tells us our worth is determined by how much we own. It means reclaiming your time, energy, and peace by focusing only on what truly gives your life meaning. Letting go of unnecessary things starts with seeing them with different eyes. Things aren't bad in themselves, but when they're just meant to show off your importance or are just sitting there, they become a burden. Minimalism means judging your possessions based on the purpose they serve in your life. Ask yourself, what is truly valuable to me? These things deserve a place in your room and in your heart. Everything else, no matter how beautiful or special it seems, can keep you from being free. When you sort out unnecessary things, you feel lighter in your mind and emotions. Without the clutter, you can concentrate better, and you won't get tired because you're not constantly making decisions about what to wear, what to eat, or where to put things. This free space gives you the strength to focus on what's truly important instead of worrying about things you don't need. In this simplicity, you find a peace that you often seek but rarely find with too many possessions. Living simply also means appreciating what you have. When you own less, you learn to appreciate what you have more. A favorite book, a special chair, or a carefully chosen object can bring you much more joy than a whole room full of things you barely use. Gratitude helps you look forward to what you have instead of what you lack. This makes you feel content, and no amount of money in the world can give you that feeling. Simplicity doesn't just apply to your belongings, but also to your friendships and social life. Many people fill their days with too many appointments and are afraid to say no, thinking they might miss something or disappoint someone. But this often leads to fatigue and leaves little time for genuine friendship. Having fewer appointments means being intentional about who you spend time with and which invitations you accept. It's about cultivating real connections, not as many as possible, and making time for quality rather than just busyness. Having fewer social responsibilities doesn't mean you should be alone. It means focusing on the friends who make you feel good and distancing yourself from those who drain you. This way, your circle of empowering people grows and you feel supported and safe. Thinking minimalist also means managing your time carefully. Many people today believe that success means accomplishing many things at once, but this often leads to dissatisfaction and distraction. Simplifying your schedule means consciously deciding how you use your time. Because if you say yes to everything, you might be saying no to what's truly important to you. When you focus on what aligns with your values and goals, your life becomes more meaningful and peaceful. Managing money easily is also important. People often say you have to spend a lot to be happy, but this often brings worry and stress. Financial simplicity means changing your attitude toward money. Instead of constantly buying more, spend your money in ways that bring you lasting joy. For example, through enjoyable experiences, meaningful gifts, or developing your skills. This reduces worry and gives you more freedom and control. Living simply helps you slow down in a fast-paced world. Taking time to savor the moment feels like a major shift. As you become calmer, you can truly appreciate the small pleasures. A meal with friends, a walk in nature, or a quiet evening for reflection. Such moments are often lost in the rush, but they are full of happiness and meaning. With simplicity, you make room for such precious experiences. One benefit of simplicity is that you make better decisions. When you have too many options, even small decisions are difficult. When you simplify your life, the clutter disappears, allowing you to focus more effectively on what's important. The fewer distractions, the clearer your decisions become, and the more they align with you and your values. This gives you security and peace of mind. Simplicity also connects you more closely with nature. When you shed the baggage, you can rediscover the beauty around you. Whether you're in a park, a forest, or your own garden, nature gives you a sense of connection that other things can't. It shows you the rhythms of life and your place within it, making you feel calmer and more balanced. When you bring simplicity into your life, your perspective on success also changes. In a world where success is often equated with money, power, or fame, simplicity gives you a new definition. It's not about always achieving more, but about staying true to yourself, cultivating good friendships, and finding happiness in the simple moments. This change allows you to stop striving for more and more and helps you focus on what truly makes you happy. Eliminating unnecessary things also boosts your imagination. When your mind isn't full of distractions, it has room for new thoughts and ideas. Simplicity creates space for creativity, whether you're designing something, pursuing a hobby, or solving a problem. This creative power makes life more exciting and fulfilling, even in the smallest tasks. Living simply also benefits your health. A simple lifestyle often brings with it good habits such as mindful eating, regular exercise, and sufficient rest. These habits, which aren't dictated by the pressure of advertising or the expectations of others, are well suited to your body's natural needs. This keeps your body, mind, and emotions healthy and balanced. Simplicity also supports you in inner growth. Many spiritual paths say that letting go of excess creates space for a better understanding of yourself and life. Whether through prayer, meditation, or quiet moments of reflection, simplicity helps you connect with your inner self and your purpose in life. This inner clarity gives you a peace that is worth more than all things. Living simply allows you to perceive beauty differently. Without distractions, you discover the beauty of small things, the shape of a flower, the warmth of the sun, or the effort that goes into something handmade. This conscious awareness enriches your life and allows you to appreciate and marvel at every moment. When you simplify your life, you may encounter difficulties in yourself or others. It can be difficult to let go of things that mean a lot to you. But every step towards simplicity makes you freer. You learn that your worth doesn't depend on what you own or how busy you are, but on who you are. This realization changes how you see yourself and how you experience the world. Simplicity isn't a one-time decision, but something you practice over and over again. It takes time and reflection to align your life with what's truly important to you. Over time, this way of living will become a habit that balances and brings harmony to your life. When you choose simplicity, you realize that less is often more. When you let go of the unimportant, you find a life full of meaning, true connection, and joy. You realize that the things you've let go of were never as important as the peace and clarity you gain. Living simply isn't about having less, but rather focusing on what's essential. It's a way to experience freedom, celebrate what's important, and be honest with yourself. Through simplicity, you create a life that feels light and meaningful. When you let go of things you don't need, you open the door to a life that brings more joy. But despite this new clarity, the world often tries to disturb your peace through demands from others, external pressure, and situations that drain your energy. To protect your inner peace, you need boundaries. These are invisible lines that show what is allowed in your life and what isn't. Boundaries aren't meant to separate you, but rather to help you connect with others in a healthy and clear way. Setting boundaries is a sign of self-respect. They show others what's important to you, what you value, and where your boundaries are, and they remind you of them. Without boundaries, your time and energy quickly become too demanding, and your emotions suffer. With boundaries, you create a safe space for your mind and heart where you can grow. Setting boundaries may feel awkward at first, especially if you're used to trying to please everyone or avoid arguments. But setting boundaries is one of the best ways to live a more peaceful life. To set good boundaries, you first need to know what's important to you. Without this clarity, others can easily decide for you how you spend your time and energy. Think about your goals, your health, and the relationships you feel comfortable in. This knowledge will help you recognize where your boundaries should be and what you can focus on. Boundaries also need to be stated. Even if you know your boundaries, others won't know them if you don't speak them. You can express your needs in a friendly and assertive way. For example, if you need peace and quiet to work, you could say, "I enjoy our conversations, but I need time to concentrate right now. Let's talk later." This way, you're taking care of yourself and the relationship. Saying no is part of setting boundaries. Many people find this difficult because they're afraid of disappointing others or being seen as selfish. But every time you say yes to something that's not important to you, you're saying no to yourself. Saying no isn't about rejecting others, but about respecting yourself. With practice, saying no helps you respect yourself, and others learn to understand and respect your boundaries. Boundaries also help you use your power wisely. Not every problem needs your attention, not every argument your involvement. To maintain peace, you have to decide where to focus your emotions and when to step back. This allows you to focus on what's important without getting lost in unnecessary anger. Another important point is to stick to your boundaries. Once you've set a boundary, stick to it. If you often back down, others won't take your boundaries seriously. Consistency shows that you care about your well-being and ensures that your boundaries are effective. This doesn't mean you're rigid. You can be flexible if it aligns with your values. Boundaries aren't just about saying no. It's also about saying yes to the right people, opportunities, and experiences. When you decide what you won't accept, you make room for things that empower and inspire you. This balance ensures your life is full of valuable encounters and experiences while avoiding unnecessary stress or conflict. Healthy boundaries also apply to your online life. In a world where technology often blends your personal time with the public, it's important to set rules for when and how you're online. This might mean turning off notifications when you need a break, or only using social media that makes you feel good. Digital boundaries protect your mind from the constant hustle and bustle of the online world. Boundaries are like invisible lines that show where one person ends and another begins. This is especially important in friendships and other relationships. They help you be yourself without losing yourself or acting against your values. When you set boundaries, you can love and be there for others without forgetting yourself. Boundaries also bring mutual respect. When you respect others' boundaries, they feel valued, and when others respect yours, trust and a deeper connection develop. Telling a friend you need a break to recharge doesn't mean you don't care about the friendship. It shows that you care about the relationship and want to make sure you both feel good. Taking time for yourself will protect you from exhaustion and allow you to strengthen your friendship later with renewed energy. Limits at work. Protect your balance. Boundaries are also important in the workplace to help you maintain your energy and well-being. Setting boundaries can mean having set working hours, saying no to tasks that are too much, or addressing unrealistic expectations. If you don't have boundaries, you can easily become tired and drained and feel unappreciated. Boundaries protect your mental health and help you work better. This way you stay clear-headed and can give your best. When you respect your boundaries at work, you stay healthy and satisfied, which leads to more success and enjoyment in your work. Limits in dealing with criticism. Boundaries are also important when dealing with criticism. Not every opinion or feedback deserves your attention. Learning to set internal boundaries will help you distinguish helpful criticism from unnecessary negativity. Constructive feedback helps you improve, but unnecessary criticism can undermine your confidence. By choosing what you allow into your thoughts, you protect your self-esteem and can focus on growth. Setting a mental boundary against negative thoughts will help you stay strong and continue on your path, without letting doubt or self-recrimination slow you down. Physical limits. Take care of yourself. Physical boundaries are just as important. Your body needs rest, space, and care to stay healthy. These boundaries can be as simple as getting enough sleep, declining invitations that disrupt your rhythm, or taking breaks to recharge. When you protect your body, you lay the foundation for a balanced life. Taking care of your health isn't a weakness. It's necessary for you to have energy, focus, and contentment. Without these boundaries, you risk exhaustion, which can affect your entire life. When you treat your body with respect, You stay strong and clear-headed to accomplish everything that matters to you. Letting go of feelings of guilt when setting boundaries. It's normal to feel guilty about setting boundaries, especially when others' expectations are violated. But it's important to view boundaries as self-care, not selfishness. When you take care of yourself, you'll be better able to care for others. Remember, you can't give from an empty cup. When you respect yourself, you'll be a better friend, relative, or colleague. When you let go of guilt, you realize that you too deserve respect and care. Self-love helps you sustainably care for others without losing yourself. Limits grow with you. Boundaries aren't fixed forever. They change as you grow, learn, and experience new situations. By continually reflecting on your boundaries, you stay true to yourself and can honor your current desires and values. Life is constantly changing, and so are you. What worked for you a year ago might not be a good fit today, and that's perfectly fine. By continually reviewing your boundaries, you ensure they're a good fit for you and your life. This way, you stay balanced even during difficult times and can change without losing yourself. If you like this text, feel free to write here. I alone am powerful, to remind yourself that the power lies within you. Sometimes setting boundaries means sensing when it's time to let go. Not every person or situation will respect your boundaries, and that's okay. If there's an argument or your boundaries aren't respected, it's important to consider whether it's better for you to step back rather than risk losing your inner peace. Letting go isn't weakness. It's a conscious decision to prioritize your well-being over attachment to people or situations that no longer serve you well. In moments like these, you choose peace over stress, and therein lies true freedom. When you let go, you make room for relationships and experiences that are a better fit for you. Every time you set boundaries, you learn more about yourself. You better recognize what hurts you, what you need, and what's important to you. This knowledge deepens your connection to yourself and makes it easier to shape your life with confidence and clarity. Boundaries aren't just external rules, they reflect your inner strength. They help you protect your energy and ensure that you remain honest in your behavior. When you set and maintain boundaries, you give yourself the strength to move through life consciously and with a purpose. The true power of boundaries lies in their ability to give you freedom. Boundaries aren't shackles. They're a barrier that allows you to focus on what's truly important to you. When you set clear boundaries, you free yourself from distractions, excessive demands, and outside expectations. This freedom gives you the opportunity to be fully present in the here and now, knowing that your inner peace is protected. This allows you to live with more joy, intention, and strength because you're building a life that aligns with your values. By setting boundaries, you show respect for yourself and for the people around you. Boundaries are not walls that separate you from others. They are bridges that enable healthy and balanced relationships. They help you create a life that aligns with your values while fostering friendships and connections that are genuine and fulfilling. When you nurture and develop your boundaries, you find a deep peace that cannot be disturbed from the outside. Boundaries create a space in which you can grow. They preserve your well-being, keep your priorities clear, and ensure that your relationships flourish. With boundaries set, you can live confidently and authentically, sustained by your own strength and wisdom. This is where true freedom begins, through letting go of attachments. It's not about being cold or unfeeling, but about letting go of the desire for control and allowing life to unfold freely. With this attitude, you will find a deep peace and tranquility that allows you to experience life fully without being shaken by unexpected changes. Non-attachment is an important part of Stoic teachings. It's based on the knowledge that many things in life are beyond your control. You can't determine how others behave, how situations develop, or how everything ends. What you can control is how you react to them and the meaning you give them. When you stop expecting everything to happen exactly as you want it to, you free yourself from worry and the pain of unfulfilled desires. This exercise begins by changing your perspective. Instead of only thinking about what you want, you pay attention to being present in the moment. The Stoics say that effort is more important than outcome, Your task is to do your best with what you have, without becoming dependent on the outcome. This way, you act consciously and honestly, rather than being driven by fear or the desire for praise. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or goals. It means working toward them with an open heart and acceptance. When you stop clinging to a certain outcome, you make room for new opportunities. This openness helps you adapt more easily to change and better overcome challenges. Life is no longer about controlling everything. It's about going with the flow. Non-attachment also changes how you view success and failure. When your worth depends on your successes, failures are difficult to bear, and successes seem fleeting. When you focus on the journey rather than just the destination, you give success new meaning. Success then means striving, learning, and staying true. Mistakes thus become opportunities to grow, rather than a measure of your worth. Another important part of non-attachment is the realization that nothing lasts forever. The Stoics teach that everything changes: people, things, and situations. Holding on to the past is painful because it goes against natural change. When you accept that nothing lasts forever, you can enjoy the moment without fear of losing it. This allows you to love and live, knowing that change is precisely what makes life beautiful. Non-attachment also frees you from needing approval from others. If your worth depends on what others think, you're at the mercy of their expectations. When you let go of this, you can be authentic and align yourself with your own values. This inner freedom strengthens your self-confidence and makes you more resilient, allowing you to accept praise and criticism without being unsettled by them. Practicing non-attachment also makes you more grateful. When you stop always wanting more success, more things, more attention, you learn to appreciate what you have. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to the abundance of the moment. This contentment isn't laziness, but a deep peace that comes from recognizing how precious the here and now is. Non-commitment also helps strengthen your friendships and relationships. When you stop trying to control or change others, space is created for true intimacy. A relationship is less about fulfilling expectations and more about growing together and understanding each other. This way, there is less fighting and more harmony because everyone is allowed to express their own personality. Letting go of a fixed goal doesn't mean you're not taking responsibility or not making an effort. On the contrary, it encourages you to act with purpose and intention. Knowing that you often can't control the outcome reduces your anxiety and allows you to think more clearly. This allows you to focus your energy on things you can truly influence rather than wasting it on things beyond your control. With this attitude, you can face life's challenges with courage and strength. Non-attachment also shows you how to stay strong in difficult times. Life brings many surprises, and if you cling too tightly to certain outcomes, you'll quickly become disappointed. When you learn to let go, you'll always find new strength, no matter what happens. This strength doesn't mean repressing feelings, but rather facing them with courage and calm. It helps you pick yourself up after setbacks and keep going. Ultimately, this practice gives you a deep sense of peace in your heart. When you no longer constantly chase after things that are supposed to make you happy, you realize that true contentment has long been within you. Non-attachment calms the constant striving and comparison that often disrupt your inner balance. It allows you to feel whole, no longer dependent on what you achieve or have, but on who you truly are. Letting go of attachments gives you a great sense of freedom, the freedom to discover new things, seize opportunities, and develop yourself without fear of failure or loss. This freedom empowers you and allows you to be openly and honestly yourself, without the burden of others' expectations. It allows you to approach life with curiosity and an open heart, welcoming the unknown with trust rather than fear. Non-attachment also strengthens your connection to the here and now. When you stop trying to control the future or fear the past, you can fully immerse yourself in the present moment. This makes your experiences more intense and meaningful. True happiness is found right in the now. This practice of non-attachment also means being mindful of yourself. You continually check in to see if you're holding on to things that are no longer serving you well. This mindfulness helps you let go of what's weighing you down and focus on what's essential. This way, you stay true to yourself and act according to your true values. Non-commitment doesn't mean being indifferent. It's about finding freedom. It allows you to live life to the fullest while being free from unnecessary constraints. This balance creates harmony, allowing you to pursue your dreams and nurture your relationships without losing yourself. It's a way of living that honors both your uniqueness and your connection to the world. When you practice non-attachment, your perspective on success and failure also changes. You no longer feel like a winner or loser, but rather see every experience as an opportunity to grow and learn. This change makes your life more meaningful and fulfilling. It reminds you that true happiness lies along the path, not just at the destination. Non-attachment is an ongoing process. It requires patience, self-love, and the willingness to let go of habits. But each step brings you closer to a life full of freedom, inner peace, and true selfhood. The gift of non-attachment is a path to contentment that doesn't depend on external circumstances, but is rooted in the unwavering strength of your own heart. Letting go brings freedom, but true happiness comes from something deeper. It means finding joy in simply being with yourself, liking yourself in a way that doesn't depend on others. It doesn't mean being alone or avoiding people, but rather discovering the richness of your inner world and becoming your own constant source of comfort, courage, and joy. If you learn to enjoy spending time with yourself, you must first recognize your own worth. Many people often seek validation from others, from friends, family, or colleagues, as if they need to prove themselves. When you let go of this external pressure, your true self remains. To do this, you must change the way you view yourself. You stop seeing yourself through the eyes of others and recognize yourself as you truly are, with all your strengths, weaknesses, and potential. Spending time alone is a wonderful opportunity to strengthen your connection with yourself. Being alone gives you space to listen to your own thoughts and feelings without others interrupting. This way, you notice what truly makes you happy, what you find difficult, and what you need to feel good. This awareness makes you more independent because you no longer look to others for happiness, but find it within yourself. Loving yourself also means treating yourself with kindness and respect. Many people are quick to show compassion to others, but they are often harsh towards themselves. Self-love means speaking to yourself as lovingly as you would to a good friend. This builds your confidence and gives you strength when you go through difficult times. To develop a positive sense of self, it's important to stop comparing yourself to others. When you constantly measure yourself against others, you forget how special your own path is. Self-esteem means celebrating yourself and understanding that your path doesn't have to look like someone else's to be valuable. Embracing this allows you to focus on your own growth and happiness instead of chasing after things that others find important. A beautiful way to appreciate your present moment is to do things that demonstrate what's important to you and what brings you joy. Whether it's a hobby, a creative project, or working on yourself, such activities remind you of what you're capable of and what defines you. They give you a sense of happiness that comes from within and doesn't depend on what others expect of you. A strong friendship with yourself begins with accepting your mistakes and imperfections. When you always strive to be perfect, you often end up speaking harshly to yourself and doubting yourself. Instead of being perfect, it's good to know you are already enough. Your mistakes are part of you and make you unique. When you understand this, you see your life as a long journey where every step counts, whether it's perfect or not. This attitude gives you peace and makes you authentic because you accept your life as a constant evolution. An important part of self-love is learning to set boundaries, not just with others, but also with yourself. We often work too hard or ignore what we need just to please others. When you truly love yourself, you realize how important it is to respect your boundaries. This means, for example, saying no when you're already busy, giving yourself breaks, or resting without feeling guilty. Taking good care of yourself isn't selfish. It shows that you respect yourself. By setting boundaries, you show yourself that you have just as much value as everyone else. Spending time alone also helps your imagination and your ability to find solutions. Without the constant noise of others or the hustle and bustle around you, your mind can think freely and discover new ideas. The quiet of being alone is often the best place for great ideas to come to life, where you can try out different ways of solving problems without feeling rushed or judged. Such moments often bring forth surprising thoughts that wouldn't arise in the stress of everyday life. Your inner world is full of possibilities, and time alone helps you discover them and reveal your very own ideas. When you like yourself, the way you interact with others changes. When you're happy with yourself, you're no longer looking for someone to tell you how great you are or to fill a void. Instead, your friendships and relationships are based on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine love for the other person as they truly are. This shift makes your relationships more honest and beautiful. You're no longer dependent on others to make you happy. You bring your own happiness into them. As a result, your connections with others become healthier and based on mutual understanding and support, not dependence. Self-love is closely linked to gratitude. When you take time to appreciate yourself, your effort, your strength, and your growth, you feel content. This gratitude isn't about being perfect, but about seeing how far you've come, what you've learned, and how much you've grown. When you like yourself, your self-esteem grows, and you feel your inner strength more strongly. This gratitude motivates you to continue taking good care of yourself because you know you deserve the love and attention you often give to others. Patience is important if you want to get to know yourself better. Sometimes alone time feels uncomfortable, and we want distractions to avoid feeling difficult emotions. But that's often when true growth happens. When you allow yourself to live with your thoughts and feelings without running away or numbing them, you'll get to know yourself much better. This understanding of yourself is the foundation for true self-love and helps you build a lasting connection with yourself based on acceptance and compassion. Finding joy and fun in your own company is also part of it. Life can be difficult and full of responsibility at times, but when you take the time to enjoy small pleasures, you remember how light and beautiful life can be. Whether you're laughing about a funny moment, dancing to your favorite song, or simply relaxing with a cup of tea, such moments are healing. They show you that life doesn't always have to be serious. Playing and having fun is a way to be kind to yourself and keep your inner child alive. It brings lightness and balance to your life. Time alone also gives you the chance to better understand your values and goals. Without the influence of others, you can discover what's truly important to you. In this peace and quiet, you can ask yourself, what do I want in life? What is meaningful to me? This clarity helps you make decisions that truly suit you and live a life that feels meaningful. You no longer feel pressured to pursue paths that don't belong to you because you've taken the time to listen to your heart and mind. When you strengthen your connection to yourself, your inner peace grows naturally. You no longer need constant validation from others, and the things that once captured your attention lose their power over you. Your confidence in yourself becomes calm and secure because you trust that you can overcome life's difficulties. This peace doesn't mean that problems go away. It means that you face them courageously because you know how strong you are. You have built a solid foundation within yourself that can withstand life's ups and downs with calm and strength. Valuing yourself doesn't mean separating yourself from others, but rather having such a good relationship with yourself that you approach others from a sense of abundance rather than lack. When you feel good about yourself, you can love and support others without fear or dependence. This inner happiness allows you to give and receive love, making your relationships healthy and balanced. Your worth no longer comes from what others say, but from the richness of your own inner world. When you love yourself, you also become more resilient. Life brings many challenges, but when your self-worth is based on who you are and not on what's happening around you, these difficulties no longer shake your confidence. You face them courageously because you know you have the strength to overcome them. Your resilience is strong because it's based on self-love and self-acceptance. No matter what life brings, you remain true to yourself and strong. When you spend time with yourself, the door opens to something even more important: your personal development. Solitude becomes a special place where you can get to know yourself better, feel your limits, discover your strengths, and discover new truths about yourself that remain hidden in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. This time alone is not empty, but full of possibilities. In peace, you can nurture the growth within you and prepare yourself for new steps in your life. Sometimes loneliness feels like nothing is happening, like it's just empty. But when you experience it consciously, it becomes a powerful tool for your growth. Instead of letting time pass, you can use the quiet time to reflect, dream, and create. If you choose to focus on yourself in these moments, they become a valuable opportunity to get to know yourself better and express yourself. This way, you can discover loneliness as something beautiful that helps you grow. The most important thing is reflection. Silence gives you the space to look within and understand your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. You can discover why you feel or think the way you do. This reflection helps you identify things you want to change and areas where you want to grow. This knowledge of yourself is the first step toward real change that will show you who you are and who you want to be. Solitude is also a good place for learning. Without distractions, your mind can discover new ideas, absorb knowledge, and experiment with creative solutions. Whether you're reading a book, learning something new, or exploring a fascinating topic, being alone gives you the time and peace to gain deeper understanding. This learning enriches your life and strengthens your confidence in your own ability to grow and succeed. When you're alone, you also encounter your inner critic. Without the hustle and bustle around you, the voice of doubt can become louder. While this may be uncomfortable, it's an opportunity to question and change these thoughts. When you figure out where your self-criticism comes from, you can replace it with more loving and helpful thoughts. This takes honesty and patience, but it teaches you to stand up for yourself and use the time alone to become stronger instead of feeling small. Being alone can boost your creativity because you're free from external constraints and can let your mind wander. Many wise people throughout history have said that their best ideas came in solitude. When you're alone, you can try new things, explore different thoughts, and make connections you hadn't considered before. This creativity not only helps you solve problems, but also makes your life more colorful and beautiful. Time alone also gives you the opportunity to practice self-discipline. Without others to remind or guide you, it's easy to procrastinate or get distracted. But if you use your solitude to practice self-discipline, you can set goals, practice routines, and stick to them. This builds your confidence in yourself because you know you can rely on your own abilities. Solitude also gives you space to heal. In silence, you can reflect on feelings that may be neglected in everyday life. Whether you're sad, angry, or disappointed, being alone allows you to confront these feelings and understand them better. Healing doesn't mean becoming happy again quickly, but rather giving yourself time and kindness so that you can regain strength at your own pace. This way, you'll feel lighter and more balanced within yourself. Taking time for yourself to grow also means setting goals and seeing how you're progressing. When you're alone, you can consider how your dreams are progressing and plan for any necessary changes. This self-reflection helps you ensure you're acting in a way that aligns with your values and goals. Seeing how much you're achieving through your efforts motivates you to keep going. Solitude strengthens you because you learn to tackle challenges alone. It's perfectly normal to ask others for advice or help in difficult times, but when you tackle difficulties yourself, your inner strength and problem-solving skills grow. You learn to trust your own decisions and calmly handle difficult situations. These experiences make you proud and self-confident and show you that you can achieve anything. When you're alone, you're better able to listen to your gut feeling. Without the opinions of others, your inner voice becomes clearer. This connection helps you make decisions that feel right for you, without feeling pressured from outside. Over time, you'll learn to trust your own instincts, which will guide you through both small and large decisions. Being alone also makes you more mindful. When you're alone, you can focus entirely on the moment without distractions. This mindfulness allows you to notice the simple beauty of life from your calm breath to the sounds around you. This not only helps reduce stress, but also makes you happier and more relaxed because you learn to enjoy the moment. Solitude also gives you the chance to take better care of your body. Without social obligations, you can take time for things that are good for you, like healthy eating, exercise, or simply taking a break. This self-care strengthens your body and mind, and if you make it a habit, you'll feel better in the long run. Spending time alone can also help you think broadly. Away from the hustle and bustle, you can reflect on your values, your life's meaning, and how you fit into the world. These thoughts give you inner peace and a happiness that doesn't depend on things, but roots you in something greater. Solitude is also a good opportunity to practice gratitude. When you think about the good things in your life, you shift your focus from what's missing to what's already there. This makes you more content and makes you feel like you have enough. Grateful moments in silence help you see the small joys in everyday life. Using solitude for growth also means embracing challenges. Growth often happens when things feel difficult or uncomfortable. Being alone gives you a safe place to face your fears, learn new things, or understand difficult feelings. These experiences make you stronger and more confident. They show you how much power lies within you and that you can change. Solitude teaches you to rely on yourself. When you're alone to solve problems, work toward your goals, and take care of yourself, you become more independent. This doesn't mean you don't need help, but rather that you know you can manage on your own. This quiet strength helps you face life's challenges with courage. The beauty of solitude is that you discover who you really are. Without the noise of the world, you can reconnect with your true self. This connection gives you courage and freedom because it shows you are enough just as you are. Loneliness thus becomes not a sad place, but a peaceful space where you can discover yourself and grow. When you use solitude for your personal growth, you turn those moments of aloneness into opportunities for change and development. This requires patience, concentration, and a willingness to explore your inner world. With each step, you'll discover new strengths and insights that make your life more meaningful and fulfilling. When you fully embrace solitude, it becomes a source of opportunity, a gift that keeps on giving as you become the best version of yourself. When you use solitude to develop yourself, you discover strengths and insights you may not have known existed. But to truly grow, you need something else too, a force that connects everything and gives meaning to your journey. This force is called purpose. Purpose provides clarity and stability, especially in times of change. It's not just a nice idea, it gives you security. Purpose is like a star in the sky that helps you face the unknown with courage and strength. It's not just about big dreams or successes, but about something personal that also exists in small things. For example, when you help others, care for people, or work on yourself. What's important is that your goal fits you and aligns with your values. When you know your goal, you can use even difficult situations as an opportunity to learn and grow in a positive way. One great thing about goals is that they give you stability when everything is changing. Life is constantly changing. Jobs, friends, or other things can evolve. Without a goal, you can feel lost and unsure of where you're going. A goal is like a compass that guides you through uncertain times and reminds you of what's truly important. It helps you focus on the bigger picture, even when so much is changing around you. When you have goals, life feels more fulfilling. When your actions align with your purpose, every day feels meaningful, even the little things. This feeling doesn't come from having to be happy all the time, but from having meaning in your life. This turns simple tasks into steps towards something bigger. This perspective can motivate you and give you the strength to keep going, even on difficult days. A clear goal makes you stronger. Life often presents challenges, but when you focus on your goal, setbacks seem less daunting. You learn to see difficulties as learning opportunities rather than defeats. This knowledge creates inner strength because your goal is greater than any single obstacle. It always stays with you, supporting you so you can stay courageous and focus on what matters most. A goal also helps you develop self-control. When you're working towards something worthwhile, it's easier to focus your time and energy on the important things. Distractions seem less exciting because you have your goal in sight. This focus supports you in making decisions that align with your values and long-term plans. This way, you live a life that fulfills you and gives you direction. Your goal transforms discipline into a force that empowers you rather than limits you. A great benefit of goals is that they connect you with other people. Although a goal is personal, it's often about doing good for others. This could be kindness, creativity, or supporting those around you. Such connections enrich your life, make you feel like you belong, and show you how important you are to the world. With a goal, being alone becomes a time of connection, even if you're alone. A goal also gives you clarity. In a world full of noise and distractions, it's easy to get confused. A goal helps you keep track of things and recognize what really matters. This clarity makes it easier to make good decisions that suit you. It shows you a path and gives you direction, no matter how complicated life is. A life of purpose allows you to grow. When you work on something meaningful, you try new things, learn skills, and face your fears. These experiences make you stronger and help you become the best version of yourself. With a purpose, growth becomes exciting and intentional. Even the difficult moments become opportunities to improve. Goals also give you inner peace. When you know why you're doing something, doubts disappear. You trust your decisions because they're driven by a powerful reason. This peace doesn't mean avoiding difficulties, but rather facing them with clarity and courage. It helps you find a balance where your actions and intentions align. Purpose isn't always the same. It grows with you. What drives you today can change later. If you're open to it, your purpose remains alive and real. You reflect on your life, stay connected to your purpose, and adapt it to new situations without losing yourself. This flexibility ensures that your life retains meaning even when things change. The search for your purpose often begins with getting to know yourself better. By discovering your passions, strengths, and values, you discover what truly motivates you. A goal doesn't reveal itself immediately. It grows with you as you live your life and understand yourself better. This journey of discovery is part of your purpose because it shows you who you are and what you can offer the world. A goal also improves your heart. It gives you hope and confidence and reminds you that what you do matters and has an impact. With this positive attitude, you feel better and can better cope with difficult times. Meaning becomes like a light that gives you courage even on dark days. A purposeful life gives meaning to every moment. When you're connected to your purpose, you're automatically more mindful. Every action feels more intentional because it's part of something bigger. You discover the small joys, a pleasant conversation, a beautiful sunset, or the warmth of a cup of tea, and learn to appreciate them. With meaning, even simple moments become opportunities for growth, gratitude, and reflection. You realize that every small step matters because it brings you closer to your true values. A goal is also like a shield against fear and uncertainty. When you're deeply involved in something meaningful, fear has less power over you. Instead of being blocked by fear, you feel encouraged to take risks and embrace challenges. Knowing your big vision gives you courage, even when you don't know exactly what the future holds. Courage doesn't mean not being afraid, but rather moving forward, trusting that every step will help you grow and become your best self. With a goal, you can walk safely through the unknown and confidently face whatever comes your way. If you like this text, write here, "I am powerful alone," to show that you feel your own power. A purpose not only determines what you do, but also who you are. It becomes a part of you, the core of how you see yourself and how others perceive you. This identity isn't based on titles or what you do, but on your values, intentions, and the choices you make every day. Living according to your purpose creates a true sense of authenticity that helps you stay true to yourself, no matter what. When you're connected to your purpose, you stop trying to fulfill other people's expectations or roles. Instead, you live in a way that expresses exactly who you truly are, creating a life of honesty and inner peace. When you live with enthusiasm and a clear purpose, you become a role model for others. Your purpose becomes like a small spark that warms the hearts of those around you, and shows them what is possible when you are honest with yourself. When you follow your path and stay true to your values, you encourage others to discover their own paths and pursue what is important to them. This effect spreads like a chain reaction, connecting many people and helping them to also live life with meaning and joy. By living your own truth, you give others the courage to find and live theirs, thus creating a shared legacy of growth, friendship, and inspiration. Deep down, purpose is about giving back. It's understanding that your life has meaning because you touch and influence the world around you. This doesn't mean you have to perform great heroic deeds. Even small acts of kindness or creative ideas can make a big difference to someone's life. Purpose reminds you that you matter, that your actions, no matter how small they seem, make an impact on the world. Whether you're helping a friend, creating something beautiful, or simply being kind, your life is valuable because you're making a contribution to everyone. Purpose shows you how valuable each action is and that none of it is in vain. When you find your purpose, you feel complete and whole. Life no longer seems scattered or directionless. Instead, it becomes like one long journey guided by meaning and intention. Every experience, every friendship, and every goal is like a thread in a bigger picture that shows your life. Your intention connects all these threads and forms a picture that shows who you are, what matters to you, and where you want to go. This feeling of everything fitting together gives you a deep and lasting satisfaction because you know you are living your own life. You no longer feel lost or uncertain. You know you are exactly in the right place. A life full of purpose isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. It takes courage, reflection, and a willingness to grow. Along the way, you'll sometimes face challenges, doubt yourself, and overcome obstacles. But each of these moments is an opportunity to learn and grow stronger. Goal setting helps you see difficult times as learning moments, transform loneliness into community, and replace uncertainty with clarity. It's your steady anchor in stormy times and the light that guides you onward. When you live with a purpose, you find not only stability but also joy, the deep joy of living a life that truly matters. When you allow yourself to be guided by your purpose, you will find clarity and direction. But even the most beautiful goals require pauses for reflection. These are moments in which you take a step back to regroup and move forward with renewed energy. This is precisely where silence helps you. It doesn't mean doing nothing, but rather consciously finding peace in a world that is often loud and distracting. In these quiet moments, you will find the strength to be courageous, the clarity to make decisions, and the peace that will carry you through everyday life. In a world that often only knows movement and haste, it can seem strange to value stillness. But stillness doesn't mean being inactive. It means being completely in the moment, undisturbed from the outside. When you practice being still, you create a space in which you can be with yourself, reflect, and organize your thoughts. In this way, you learn to let the hustle and bustle outside calm down and focus on your inner self, where peace and strength reside. In this conscious stillness, you find the wisdom to make good decisions, the strength to overcome difficulties, and the inner peace that will carry you safely forward. An important first step in silence is learning to accept your thoughts. Many people avoid silence because they experience unpleasant feelings or fears. These feelings can feel like walls that stop you, but in reality, they are an invitation to learn more about yourself. When you allow your thoughts to come without judgment, you give yourself space to understand your feelings, recognize your behaviors, and treat yourself with more love. This way, your inner strength grows and you can face life's challenges with calm and clarity, knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way. But there's something else important. If you've been trying to be brave and learn new things for a long time, but you still find it difficult, there might be something you haven't seen yet. I know what it might be. It's fear. Fear is like a snake that sneaks in and grabs you again and again without you noticing. It often makes you sad or anxious, sometimes for a long time. Living like this feels like you're always sick. But I know a way to get out of it. The ancient Stoic thinkers, as well as modern psychology, have found a way to conquer this fear. I myself have taken this path and freed myself from fear. I made a video in which I explain exactly how to release this burden. You can find it in the first comment. Click the link there and begin your journey to healing yourself from fear. Silence also strengthens your ability to be mindful, that is, to consciously perceive the moment. When you focus on the here and now, you let go of worries about the past or future and can truly experience life. Whether you're enjoying a delicious bite, admiring the beauty outside, or simply feeling your breath, mindfulness helps you stay in the moment. This practice not only reduces stress but makes you more grateful for life's small pleasures. This way, you find contentment that doesn't depend on external things. Through mindfulness, you learn to see the beauty in every moment and take joy in the little things that make life special. If you incorporate small moments of calm into your daily routine, you don't have to make any major changes. Even short breaks can make a big difference. Whether you take a few deep breaths during a stressful day, practice a short meditation, or simply take a leisurely walk, these moments of silence will help you stay calm and focused. Over time, these quiet moments will become a source of strength, allowing you to live your life more consciously and purposefully. Rest also helps you become more aware of your thoughts and actions. When everything is quiet, you can observe your thoughts without getting lost in them. This way you can recognize when you're ruminating too much or being too hard on yourself and replace those habits with something positive. This practice of self-observation not only benefits your mind but also supports you in making decisions that align with your values. When you take time for quiet, you'll be able to connect with your true self. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's easy to forget who you really are and what's truly important to you. Silence gives you the chance to rediscover yourself. It provides clarity and direction. This connection makes you strong and secure, allowing you to face challenges with serenity. Quiet also strengthens your concentration. In a world full of distractions, it's incredibly valuable to focus on what's important. When you practice silence, you train your mind not to be distracted by everything. This not only makes you more productive, but also allows you to be more focused on the task at hand, on people, and on your own growth. Taking time for rest also has positive effects on your body. Stress often manifests itself in tension, fatigue, or illness. Exercises such as mindfulness, meditation, or deep breathing allow your body to relax, help reduce stress, and promote your well-being. These quiet moments are like short breaks in which you recharge your body and mind. Silence teaches you patience. In a world that wants everything immediately, it's difficult to simply wait and be fully present. But when you practice stillness, you learn to enjoy the journey rather than just focus on the destination. The patience you practice in silence becomes an important tool for approaching life calmly and thoughtfully. Silence also teaches you to persevere when things get tough. It helps you approach challenges with a clear mind. Peace and quiet also boosts your creativity. If your mind is always busy, there's little room for new ideas. Silence opens the door to inspiration and lets your imagination flow freely. This makes your life more exciting and fulfilling, even in simple things. Silence deepens your relationships. When you are quiet and attentive, you can listen better, show compassion, and respond wisely. This presence builds trust and understanding, making your connections with others stronger and more peaceful. Silence shows you that true closeness begins with truly being present with yourself and with others. Taking time for quiet also helps you manage stress better. Life is unpredictable and problems are part of it. By practicing stillness, you learn to look at difficulties calmly and clearly instead of reacting frantically. This way, you stay balanced, reduce stress, and handle difficult situations with confidence. Silence teaches you to accept life as it is. In peace, you see things clearly, without distractions or thoughts of escape. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up, but rather embracing the moment with an open heart. This gives you the strength to focus on what you can truly influence and brings you inner peace. When you allow silence to enter, your gratitude also grows. By pausing and experiencing the moment, you become more aware of the beautiful things in your life. This awareness shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, giving you a sense of contentment and happiness. Gratitude nourished by silence becomes a powerful source of joy and strength. Silence also supports your inner growth. Whether meditating, praying, or quietly reflecting, silence opens the way to a connection that is greater than yourself. This connection gives meaning to your life and helps you discover values that are more important than the hustle and bustle around you. Silence doesn't mean that your thoughts and feelings disappear. It means giving them space without judging them. This way, you learn to gain distance and observe your thoughts and feelings without being overwhelmed by them. This serenity brings inner peace and helps you live your life more calmly and clearly. When you practice regular silence, you may find that your actions are more aligned with your values. By pausing and reflecting, you ensure that your decisions are conscious and meaningful, not just reactions to what's happening. This alignment gives you a sense of wholeness and contentment because your life reflects who you truly are. Silence reminds you to enjoy the simple beauty of life. In quiet moments, you notice small things that are often overlooked. A gentle breeze, the warmth of the sun, or the rhythm of your breath. These moments of full presence bring wonder and gratitude into your everyday life. Through silence, you find a deep strength and calm within yourself. This serenity becomes a source of resilience, clarity, and focus, helping you face challenges with courage. Silence is not about escaping life, but about returning to yourself and discovering the unshakable peace that already resides within you. Silence brings calm and clarity, connecting you to the here and now and your true self. But even in silence, pressures can be felt. For example, the expectations of others or the desire to please everyone that secretly influence your decisions, your behavior, and sometimes your self-image. Letting go of the urge to constantly please others isn't about rebelling against them. It's about discovering true freedom. It's a step toward living a life that reflects who you truly are and what matters to you. This feeling of freedom is where true happiness begins, when you let go and stop trying to gain approval from others, but start living your own life. The pressure to please others often starts in a very subtle way. At first, you make a small decision to avoid arguments or to be liked, but it soon becomes a habit. This habit makes you believe that your worth depends on how well you meet others' expectations. Over time, this can lead you to forget what you truly want and believe in, and to distance yourself from yourself. The first step to liberation is recognizing this behavior. If you look closely, you'll notice when you put the approval of others above your own thoughts. Once you understand this, you can once again control your own decisions. Living authentically, that is, staying true to yourself, takes courage. It means facing the fear of being judged and still choosing your own value system, even when it's difficult. Courage doesn't mean ignoring all opinions, but rather knowing when feedback is helpful and when it's just criticism. By focusing on your values, you build a solid foundation that won't easily be shaken by external pressure and will help you act confidently. Letting go of the need to please everyone also means changing your perspective on success. In our society, success is often measured by the amount of praise and admiration you receive from others. But truly, living authentically means judging success by how well your actions align with your own goals and principles. When you understand this, you'll find happiness in your growth and honesty, rather than simply seeking recognition that quickly disappears. One of the hardest things about letting go of pleasing others is learning to say no. Saying no doesn't mean rejecting others, but rather knowing what's important to you and standing up for it. If you say yes to everything, you overwhelm yourself and lose sight of what's really important. When you set boundaries and say no sometimes, you make room for what's truly important to you. This not only shows that you respect yourself, but it also helps others understand your boundaries. Living authentically also means accepting that not everyone shares your decisions or opinions. This doesn't mean ignoring others, but rather understanding that their views arise from their own experiences and values, which may be different from yours. When you stop trying to be liked by everyone, you can live your life the way that's right for you. When you let go of the need to please others, you often stop constantly seeking external validation. While this recognition feels good, it doesn't last long and isn't always secure. Authenticity comes from within, from the trust that your choices reflect who you truly are. This trust grows stronger when you value honesty over praise. Being authentic also means being open and vulnerable. When you stop trying to please everyone, you reveal your true self, with all your flaws and strengths. Being vulnerable is not a weakness, but a courageous step. It shows that you are human and makes deeper, more honest relationships possible. Those who live authentically find inner peace. When your actions align with your values, you no longer need as much energy to pretend to be someone else. This harmony reduces stress and makes you happier. When you're not trying to fulfill unrealistic expectations, you're free to simply be yourself. When you let go of the need to please everyone, your relationships will improve. When you focus on being genuine, you'll attract people who like you for who you are, not just what you do for them. Such friendships and connections are strong because they're built on honesty and respect. You'll also be able to more easily recognize when a relationship is one-sided or based solely on false praise, allowing you to decide where to invest your time. To truly be yourself, you need to often ask yourself whether your behavior aligns with your values. If you reflect on this regularly, you'll be able to notice when you're falling back into old habits where you only want to please others. This way, you can continually reorient yourself. Over time, it becomes easier to stay true to yourself. Freeing yourself from the urge to please others also means embracing your uniqueness. Everyone has their own special talents, interests, and experiences that make them special. Being authentic means celebrating these differences. It means understanding that your value doesn't lie in fitting in, but rather that having your own voice is a gift. This awareness helps you stand up for yourself and be proud of what makes you special. Living authentically also strengthens your ability to overcome difficult situations. When your self-worth comes from within, you can better handle criticism, rejection, or failure. You no longer see such challenges as attacks, but rather as opportunities to learn and grow. This strength helps you handle life's ups and downs well, because you know that your worth doesn't depend on what happens outside. Living a real life also brings you clarity about what's truly important. When you're not constantly trying to please others, you have more space to focus on your own goals. This clarity helps you identify your dreams and make decisions that lead you to them. Your goal becomes your guide, giving you direction and motivation. One of the best things about staying true to yourself is the freedom it brings. When you no longer feel like you have to constantly fulfill other people's expectations, you experience a lightness and happiness that comes from simply being yourself. This freedom allows you to try new things, be bold, and fully develop yourself. Life no longer becomes a task you have to accomplish, but an exciting adventure full of possibilities and personal growth. When you let go of the need to please everyone, you also learn to be kind to yourself. Living authentically means accepting yourself as you are, without constantly feeling the pressure to conform to others' expectations. This self-acceptance brings warmth and understanding to yourself, which you can then also offer to others. Self-compassion thus becomes an inner strength that helps you face challenges with courage and composure. Being genuine and honest also inspires others. When you act according to your own values, you demonstrate the strength that comes from courage and honesty. This example encourages those around you to find their own path and brings a wave of honesty and self-confidence to your environment. Your path can show others that it's possible to be true to yourself. Letting go of the desire to always please is a lifelong task. It requires patience, self-knowledge, and the desire to grow. Step by step, you'll build a life that truly reflects who you are, a life that's fulfilling, meaningful, and free. It's not about being perfect, but about continually learning and treating yourself with love while dealing honestly with the world. Living honestly is a form of self-love. It means that your worth doesn't depend on what others think of you, but on the values and goals that guide your life. It means standing by your truth, even when it's difficult, and enjoying the freedom to be your authentic self. Through this authenticity, you free yourself from the urge to please others and find the deep joy of living a life that is special and beautiful. When you let go of the need to please everyone, the door opens to a more fulfilling life, where your worth doesn't depend on praise or recognition. But often a new challenge arises, the silent urge to compare yourself to others, which can rob you of your happiness. Gratitude helps you overcome this comparison by shifting your focus from what you lack to what you already have. This practice keeps you in the here and now and allows you to enjoy life without being burdened by envy or expectations. Gratitude isn't just a temporary feeling, but a way of thinking that changes the way you see the world and yourself. It starts with consciously noticing the beautiful things around you. So much in life often goes unnoticed because we're so busy or distracted by too many things. When you take a moment to appreciate small things, a kind word, a quiet moment, a meal with friends or family, you realize how much joy is already there. This new perspective reminds you that happiness doesn't come from wanting more, but from appreciating what you have. By practicing gratitude, you can break the habit of comparing yourself to others. If you always measure yourself against what others have or can do, you quickly feel like you're lacking something. Gratitude turns your attention inward and helps you see what's special about your own path. It shows you that contentment isn't a competition, but a personal journey. This attitude makes it easier to be proud of yourself without having to compare yourself to others. Gratitude also helps you focus more on the present moment. Comparisons often arise because we look at others and what they have achieved. Gratitude brings you back to what you are doing right now. It invites you to experience life as it presents itself and to notice the small details and feelings that make each moment worthwhile. When you are in the here and now like this, you realize that joy is not something you will find in the future, but something you can feel now. Learning to be grateful makes you stronger. Life can be difficult, and it's easy to focus only on the problems or what you lack. Gratitude gives you a fresh perspective and helps you find the good even in difficult times. Whether it's the help of a friend or the lessons you learn from mistakes, gratitude transforms difficulties into opportunities for growth. This perspective strengthens you and makes it easier to navigate life's ups and downs. Gratitude also strengthens your self-image. Comparing yourself to others can make you feel inadequate. Gratitude, however, helps you focus on your own strengths, successes, and the special qualities that make you who you are. It reminds you that your worth doesn't depend on how you compare, but on what you bring to your own life and the lives of others. This self-respect builds your confidence and inner peace, making it easier to detach yourself from external expectations. Many people think of success first in terms of money, status, or looks. Gratitude helps you broaden this perspective and understand that a fulfilling life can take many forms. It invites you to celebrate the moments that reflect your true values rather than simply chasing goals that may not be a good fit for you. Gratitude is a special gift that makes your relationships even more valuable. When you take the time to see and appreciate the good qualities in others, a connection develops that goes deeper than just acquaintance. It helps you build true friendships by showing respect and understanding. When you say thank you, whether with kind words, a small note, or a loving gesture, people feel seen and appreciated. This simple practice brings warmth and joy to your interactions and reminds you that the love and support of others are a precious treasure that enriches your life. When you learn to be grateful, your view of the world begins to change. Instead of thinking that there isn't enough happiness or success for everyone, gratitude helps you realize that there is enough for everyone. You stop comparing yourself to others and start celebrating the beautiful things you already have. When you focus on what is abundant in your life, a calm sense of contentment arises. Your joy doesn't diminish when others succeed. There is room for everyone's happiness. This attitude makes you more generous and open to sharing your own success and happiness with others. Gratitude also helps you live more consciously and notice the small yet wonderful moments of your day. It could be the warmth of the sun on your skin, the laughter of a friend, or the feeling of happiness you get when you finish something. Paying attention to these moments helps you appreciate the simple pleasures that make you feel good. This attention not only makes you feel calmer, but also allows you to let go of stress and feel more at ease. A seemingly ordinary moment becomes something special, adding meaning and magic to your everyday life. When you are grateful, you also become more humble. You realize that many beautiful things in your life don't come solely from yourself, perhaps from the efforts of others, the beauty of nature, or the experiences that have shaped you. This understanding brings humility and shows you that you are part of something bigger. Your life is enriched by the world around you. You see how everything is connected, and that makes you grateful for everything you have. Life is constantly changing, and sometimes it can feel overwhelming. But gratitude can help you stay grounded. Instead of focusing on what's missing or lost, it reminds you of what remains and the new opportunities that lie ahead. This allows you to approach change with hope and curiosity, and transitions feel exciting rather than scary. Gratitude for the good in your life prepares you for whatever comes your way and transforms difficulties into opportunities for growth. Research shows that gratitude not only improves your mood, but also benefits your health. When you focus on the positive, you find inner peace, which reduces stress, improves your sleep, and makes you feel healthier overall. So gratitude not only strengthens your soul, but also your body. It's a simple and effective way to take care of yourself. It's not just about doing something, but also about consciously appreciating the good things in your life. Gratitude also gives your life more meaning. When you take time to look at what you have, you also become more aware of how you can help others. This might mean assisting someone in need, creating something beautiful, or contributing to your community. Gratitude brings your appreciation to life and allows you to spread kindness and positivity. This creates a chain reaction. Your gratitude inspires others to be grateful as well, and the world around you becomes brighter and kinder as a result. When you focus on gratitude, it's easier to let go of envy. Everyone has their own unique path, shaped by their own experiences and decisions. Gratitude helps you honor your own path and trust that everything is happening as intended. This allows you to celebrate the successes of others without feeling threatened or envious. Instead, you acknowledge their achievements while simultaneously being proud of yourself. When you trust your own path, envy disappears and you focus more on what makes you happy. Gratitude also teaches you patience. In a world that often expects everything to happen quickly, it's easy to become impatient when life moves more slowly than you'd like. But gratitude helps you slow down and appreciate the journey. It reminds you that growth and success take time and that it's okay to wait. When you practice patience, you become calmer and remain determined to pursue your goals because you know the wait is worth it. When you encounter challenges, gratitude changes your perspective. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, you learn to embrace them as opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. Gratitude helps you discover the valuable lessons hidden in difficult times, the strength you find in overcoming them, or the insights you gain along the way. This perspective keeps you hopeful and resilient, knowing that even difficult moments can bring positive outcomes. Gratitude doesn't fade over time, it grows stronger. The more you practice being grateful, the more it becomes natural to see the good things in your life. Gratitude becomes a habit, a mindset that fills your everyday life with joy and contentment. As this cycle of appreciation strengthens, a sense of peace grows within you that stays with you, no matter what's happening around you. Gratitude shows you that you always have enough to feel happy and fulfilled. When you live with gratitude, you let go of the urge to compare yourself to others or to constantly measure yourself. Instead, you realize that true happiness lies not in having everything, but in appreciating what you do have. Gratitude opens your eyes to the beauty of the moment and reminds you that your life is already full of meaning, joy, and small miracles. It encourages you to focus on the good things, no matter how simple they seem. When you practice gratitude, you free yourself from envy and the pressure to meet expectations. This allows you to feel your life authentic and rich, and to enjoy your own journey without comparing it to others. Your life becomes more honest and full of peace because you are engaging with the here and now. Gratitude not only changes how you see others, but also how you perceive yourself and your surroundings. It helps you stay in the here and now and appreciate life in all its fullness. But being content doesn't mean you stop developing. It's not about getting comfortable and standing still. True progress often happens when you venture into the unknown, take on new challenges, and overcome your previous limitations. Gratitude allows you to enjoy the moment, but also gives you the strength to face new situations with courage. It reminds you to pursue your dreams while acknowledging what you've already achieved. This is where the idea of self-chosen discomfort comes into play. It's about voluntarily exposing yourself to situations that are challenging and allow you to grow. Whether you're taking on a difficult task, trying something unfamiliar, or breaking out of your habit, such challenges help you develop confidence in your ability to handle the unexpected. Self-chosen discomfort shows you that unpleasant feelings aren't something you need to escape from. Rather, they're a tool for becoming stronger internally. When you consciously choose such experiences, you develop inner strength and transform difficult moments into opportunities for inner growth. This conscious discomfort can take many forms. It can be something small, like taking a cold shower or giving up a cherished habit for a while, or it can be something bigger, like completing a challenging project or facing an inner fear. These voluntary steps, even if they are uncomfortable, strengthen your ability to persist and adapt. They show you that you can overcome difficulties, one step at a time. Over time, these small exercises prepare you for big, unpredictable tasks in life. As you become accustomed to discomfort in small ways, you become calmer and more confident in dealing with whatever may come your way. One of the most powerful effects of this voluntary discomfort is how it changes your attitude toward challenges. Instead of avoiding difficulties, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth. You shift from avoiding problems to wanting to face them head-on, knowing they will move you forward. This shift in perspective helps you approach difficult situations with curiosity and confidence rather than worry. You discover that obstacles are not threats, but steps toward greater inner strength and true ability. Another significant benefit of this path is the inner order you develop. Whether you're getting up early, completing a strenuous workout, or resisting temptation, committing to doing things that are difficult for you strengthens your self-discipline. This inner order helps you in many areas of life. It makes it easier to focus on and pursue your most important goals. When you repeatedly engage in unpleasant things, you develop the ability to persevere even when things are difficult. This perseverance becomes a source of confidence and inner stability. You learn to hold on to what is truly important to you and have more confidence in what you are capable of. When you consciously face difficult situations, it also builds your self-confidence. Every time you overcome something that is difficult for you, you feel that you can accomplish more than you thought possible. You begin to believe in yourself more because you know you can handle challenges and grow from them. The more often you engage in these situations, the stronger your self-belief becomes. A belief that sustains you even when everything else falters. This voluntary experience of difficulty shows you that you have inner strength you can build on, no matter what is happening around you. Embracing the uncomfortable also means remaining flexible. Life is constantly changing, and not everything goes according to plan. When you repeatedly face new uncomfortable situations, you train your heart and mind to be open and inventive. You learn how to deal with new situations and use your experiences with the unfamiliar to respond calmly and confidently to what comes your way. This adaptability becomes a valuable trait that helps you cope with challenges and changes without losing yourself. What's also exciting is that self-chosen discomfort makes you more grateful. When you forgo something comfortable for a while, you learn to appreciate the little things more. For example, if you skip a meal or don't do something that brings you joy, you realize how much you otherwise have. These small deprivations shift your focus from what you lack to what you do have. Thus, the discomfort helps you recognize and rejoice in the abundance in your life. It deepens your gratitude and makes your contentment more genuine. Ultimately, this conscious experience of unpleasantness also strengthens your inner resilience. If you don't avoid unpleasant feelings like fear, sadness, or frustration, but instead give them space, you learn to deal with them without letting them overwhelm you. You allow yourself to feel them and process them instead of running away from them. Over time, this will make you calmer and more stable in dealing with life's ups and downs. You'll stay centered no matter what happens, because you've learned to endure your feelings and remain internally strong. When you choose to face difficult things instead of avoiding them, you learn to think differently. You become more resourceful and find new ways to solve problems. Every time you dare to tackle something challenging, you practice better recognizing what's going on and making good decisions. This helps you not only at school but also in everyday life, at home and with other people. The more often you face such situations, the easier it will become for you to remain calm, even in stressful moments. This inner calmness shows how strong you have become by overcoming difficult moments. When you voluntarily do things that are strenuous or uncomfortable, you often do it because something is very important to you. For example, your health, your own advancement, or a goal that's close to your heart. Even if it's difficult at times, such a decision reminds you of what really matters to you. You stay true to yourself because you don't simply choose the easy option, but instead follow what's important to you. This way, even something unpleasant becomes something good, because it shows you that you're living according to your own values. And that's exactly what makes your life honest and meaningful. When you accept challenges, you also learn to be patient over time. Often you have to go through difficult phases, and sometimes that takes longer than you'd like, but it's precisely then that your patience grows. You better understand that big dreams and goals don't come true overnight. Sometimes there are setbacks, but they're part of life. They help you become stronger and persevere. This is how you realize everything that is meant to grow takes time, attention, and courage. When you consciously choose something that isn't comfortable, you also learn to become more humble. When you face difficult moments, you realize that you can't do everything right away, and that you sometimes reach your limits. But that's not a bad thing. It helps you understand that everyone has their own worries and difficulties to deal with. You become more compassionate and know that it's strong to keep going, even when things get difficult. It's especially in these moments that you feel the power of persevering. Your friendships and relationships can also become stronger when you learn to deal with adversity. When you practice patience and inner calm, others feel they can rely on you. You appear calm and balanced, even when things aren't easy. This builds trust. People feel safe with you because they see that you remain friendly and composed even in difficult times. Doing things that are initially uncomfortable also makes you stronger inside and healthier. For example, if you exercise or abstain from certain things for a while. Such challenges can be good for your body and give you more strength, energy, and stamina. When your body is fit, you also feel stronger in your head and heart. This feeling of being strong helps you in many areas of your life. When you try something difficult, you'll probably make mistakes. And that's okay. Nobody masters everything right away. If something doesn't work out, you learn to try again and better than before. You realize that it's not about being perfect, but about courageously continuing. This way you grow a little more with each attempt and no longer need to be afraid of making mistakes. When you consciously face difficult things, you become more independent. You realize that you can accomplish many things on your own without constantly relying on help. This gives you self-confidence and shows you, I can handle difficult situations because I trust myself. You discover that you have a lot of potential within you to cope well in life. Taking on uncomfortable tasks also helps you see more clearly where you want to go. Every time you embark on something challenging, you remind yourself why you're doing it. Perhaps you have a goal that's important to you, and moments like these show you that you're truly working toward it. You don't lose sight of your goal and stay on the path that's important to you. This gives you direction and makes your life meaningful. And finally, when you overcome something difficult, you feel how strong you are. You can be proud of yourself for having done it, even if it wasn't easy. This feeling of having surpassed yourself makes you grateful and gives you courage. You realize, I am stronger than I sometimes think. If you're willing to sometimes engage in something uncomfortable, you can live a freer life. You're no longer controlled by the fear of having to avoid difficult things. Instead, you'll find the courage to pursue new opportunities that are important to you. You'll live more honestly and courageously because you know you can accomplish even unpleasant things. When you voluntarily do things that are difficult, you discover a quiet but powerful strength within yourself. Every time you face a challenge, you show yourself that you can overcome difficult times. This strength isn't expressed by avoiding problems, but by facing them and growing from them. This creates a life that feels strong and meaningful because you know I can handle whatever comes my way. You'll also learn something very important: resilience. This means not giving up, but rather becoming stronger from difficult experiences. But no matter how strong you become, there are things you can't control. This may feel unfair at first, but if you accept it, it will bring you peace. You'll begin to focus on what really matters. This isn't about simply accepting everything or giving up. It's about letting go of unnecessary worries and staying calm, even when you don't know how something will turn out. A helpful idea here is the distinction of control. Some things you can influence. For example, your decisions, your behavior, or your thoughts. Other things, like the behavior of others, the weather, or how someone thinks of you, you can't control. The trick is to recognize what you can change and focus your energy on that very thing. We often believe that worrying will help, but that's not true. When you realize that you can't control certain things, a huge weight is lifted from your shoulders. You then have more space in your mind and heart for what you can truly shape: how you think, how you behave, and how you react to others. This is how fear becomes clarity. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care about anything. It just means you use your energy for what truly benefits you. For example, you can't control how others think of you, but you can choose to act honestly and kindly because that's important to you. When you think this way, you feel stronger because you have more control over your life. You stop clinging to things you can't change and become freer in your actions. You can then also deal better when things don't go the way you imagined. You also learn to appreciate the journey itself, not just the destination. You realize it's good to give your best, even if you don't have control over the outcome. This makes you more patient, calmer, and more open to change. A strength grows within you that helps you move through life with courage and composure. You'll also get along better with others if you don't try to control them. Everyone makes their own decisions. Acknowledging this brings peace to relationships. You stop needing to be right and start truly listening. This creates space for mutual respect. When you accept that not everything is within your control, your stress decreases. Many worries arise because we desperately want to change something we can't change. When you focus on what you can truly influence, you feel lighter and calmer. Your body benefits too because less stress is healthier. This attitude helps you stay humble. It reminds you that you can't control everything, and that's okay. You are part of a big, wonderful world where not everything can be planned. This makes you more grateful for what you are allowed to shape yourself and lets you see life with new eyes. When you spend less time worrying about how you appear to others or what you can't change, you'll become clearer in your mind. You'll have a better sense of what's truly important to you. This helps you focus on your goals and put your heart and soul into them. You channel your energy toward things that will truly move you forward. This also helps you develop mindfulness, that is, living in the here and now. You don't constantly think about the past or worry about the future. Instead, you perceive the moment as it is. You see how much beauty there is in everyday life and learn to enjoy it. This makes you more content and brings you inner peace. When you learn to accept things beyond your control, you also become emotionally stronger. You won't be so easily overwhelmed by your emotions. When you're disappointed, you might realize that you need to adjust your expectations. This will make you more flexible and better able to deal with difficult feelings. Ultimately, all of this helps you make smarter decisions. You won't act out of fear or because of what others expect. Instead, you'll do what aligns with your values. This makes you feel good because you know, I'm acting as I truly am, honestly, courageously, and with meaning. When you understand that you can't control everything in life, criticism feels less like an attack. You may not have any influence on what others think of you, but you decide how you deal with it. When you focus on what's truly important to you, you can accept feedback without feeling unsettled. This builds your self-confidence because you know your worth doesn't depend on other people's opinions. This way of thinking also helps you be more grateful. When you stop clinging to things beyond your control, you learn to appreciate what you can influence. For example, your effort, your kindness, or the strength you draw from difficult experiences. When you focus on what's within your control, a sense of abundance and inner richness arises. Even the unknown becomes less threatening when you let go of the desire to control everything. Life is full of surprises, both pleasant and difficult. When you understand that uncertainty is part of life, you can approach new situations with openness. Instead of being afraid, you see change as an opportunity to learn new things and grow. This attitude also makes you more patient. If you accept that some things simply take time, you can wait for developments more relaxed. This patience isn't just a calm perseverance, but a deep trust that everything will work out, even if you don't know exactly how. When you focus on what you can truly influence, your inner self becomes calmer. You stop fighting windmills and find peace in working with what's within your reach. It's not about ironing everything out, but rather facing challenges with courage and a clear heart. True strength is demonstrated by moving through life with calmness and determination, even when things are stormy. When you recognize the difference between what you can change and what you must let go of, many unnecessary worries disappear. What remains is a quiet peace that grows from trusting yourself. If you like these thoughts, you can say, "I alone am powerful," as a sign that the power lies within you. This perspective helps you focus on what really matters. It doesn't mean giving up or ignoring difficulties. Rather, it's about letting go of what you can't change and putting all your energy into what you can. This brings clarity to your life and allows you to see challenges as opportunities, not threats. When you focus on the here and now, life becomes simpler and more meaningful because you're no longer clinging to things beyond your control. By accepting that not everything is in your hands, a deep peace grows within you. You develop an inner balance that allows you to accept ups and downs more calmly. But even with this attitude, the fear of losing something often remains. Perhaps you worry about loved ones, important relationships, or things that mean a lot to you. Loss can feel heavy and final, like an unexpected storm that rocks your world. But an old saying tells us, everything in life changes. Nothing stays the same forever. Not happiness, not pain, not possessions, not people. When you realize this, you can look at life differently. Instead of constantly fearing the end, you learn to appreciate the moment. You use the time you have and enjoy it precisely because you know it isn't forever. This realization sets you free. You no longer need to hold on to things for fear of losing them. You can love, experience, and enjoy them while they're there, without clinging to them. You no longer see life as something you have to hold on to, but as a collection of special moments. And the more consciously you experience them, the more valuable they become. Often, the fear of loss stems from becoming too attached to things or people. This strong attachment makes change more difficult, but when you understand that everything comes and goes, you can let go without forgetting. You learn to love with an open heart, without clinging. And when changes come, you can move on more easily, knowing that it's a part of life. Even challenges seem less daunting when you know that nothing lasts forever. Sometimes problems feel huge, as if they'll never end. But when you realize that everything passes, even difficult times, it gives you hope. It doesn't lighten the burden, but it reminds you that there's an afterlife. Every difficult time is just part of a bigger story, and that story continues with new, brighter chapters. When you understand that life is constantly changing, you become stronger inside. You realize that resisting change is pointless. Instead, you learn to adapt to new things, grow from them, and move on. This way, you feel more confident when something unexpected happens, because you know you've already accomplished a lot, and you'll manage this too. This knowledge also changes how you interact with others. When you know that time with loved ones isn't unlimited, you treat them more lovingly. You cherish shared moments and don't take them for granted. Instead of arguing over trivial things, you become more grateful for what connects you. Every moment with someone you care about becomes special. When you're no longer so afraid of losing something, you become braver. Many people don't dare to try new things because they're afraid of failure or rejection. But when you realize that everything in life passes, even failures, you can let go of your fear. You're more likely to dare to try new things because you know that every step takes you further, regardless of the outcome. Knowing that nothing lasts forever also makes you more humble. You realize that no possession, no success, and no single moment defines your entire life. You don't need to hold on to or control everything. Instead, you learn to accept life as it is, with all its ups and downs. This attitude brings calm and allows you to recognize the beauty in change. Your perspective on the things you own also changes. Sure, beautiful things bring joy, but if you become too attached to them, it can become exhausting. When you realize that things don't last forever, you can enjoy them more without being dependent on them. You understand that true happiness lies not in things, but in your experiences, friendships, and what you carry with you in your heart. And when something comes to an end, a chapter of life, a friendship or a job, it often feels difficult. But when you realize that every end is also a beginning, you gain hope. It's as if one door closes so another can open. You can be sad, but you also know that something new awaits you, perhaps even something wonderful. This perspective also brings you closer to nature. When you observe the seasons, you realize that everything is constantly changing. Nothing lasts forever, and that's completely normal. This realization can be comforting. You feel connected to something greater, as part of a natural cycle. When you feel time passing quickly, you become more attentive. You begin to truly experience the moment. You listen better, look more closely, and laugh more heartily. Instead of losing yourself in worries or dreams, you are completely in the here and now. You learn that life happens in the moment, right now. This attitude also helps you compare yourself less with others. You begin to understand that what others have or achieve isn't better or worse, it's simply different. And because everything changes anyway, you don't need to feel small or insecure. You're forging your own path, and it's just as valuable as any other. When you realize that nothing lasts forever, your gratitude grows. Every day becomes a gift. You suddenly see how special small things are. A smile, a hug, a quiet moment. Even if you lose something, you can find meaning in it. You remember with love, and from that memory comes strength. Change shows you what really matters. When you know that time is precious, you'll be more thoughtful about how you use it. You don't just live life without thinking, but instead follow your values. You do things that truly mean something to you. This makes your life meaningful and fulfilling, and the more you accept change, the freer you feel. You no longer have to plan or control everything. Instead, you can be spontaneous, discover new paths, and marvel at what you encounter. You begin to experience life consciously, without fear, but with open eyes and an open heart. In this way, change no longer becomes an enemy, but your companion. You stop clinging to the past, rejoice in the present, and are ready for what's to come. You learn to let go, to trust, and to welcome life in all its colors. When you learn to embrace change, you'll feel freer and more balanced within yourself. You'll be able to move through life more calmly and handle even difficult situations with courage and clarity. This attitude not only changes how you feel about yourself, it also affects how you interact with others. When you're calm, attentive, and honest, the people around you sense it. You don't have to persuade or impress anyone. It's enough to demonstrate qualities that others value. When you learn to act wisely and thoughtfully, honest connections develop that build trust without many words. An important starting point is the mood you bring to conversations. People are often attracted to those who appear calm and confident. This calmness doesn't come from not having feelings, but from having learned to manage them. If you remain friendly and calm even in stressful situations, others will realize they can rely on you. It's not about hiding something, but about choosing your reactions so that they align with you and your values. Truly listening is another valuable way to connect with others. Many people only half listen, already thinking about what to say next. But when you're fully present and openly listening, they realize you care. This builds a deeper connection, built on trust and mutual respect. And when you understand what's important to them, you're much more able to respond to them. Even a short pause before speaking can work wonders. This moment of silence gives you time to organize your thoughts. This way, you can find words that truly mean something. Taking your time before speaking comes across as thoughtful and confident, and that's exactly what impresses others. People also listen more closely when they sense that you're saying something thoughtfully. If you remain calm instead of reacting immediately, you'll be even more convincing to others. If you stay calm instead of shouting when faced with criticism or in difficult situations, you demonstrate inner strength. This calmness helps ease tensions, and others notice that you're someone who can provide support in difficult times. Speaking clearly and simply is a real strength. When you say what you mean clearly, people are more likely to listen and understand you better. It's not about sounding particularly clever, but about speaking honestly and understandably. When your words are clear, it shows that you know what you stand for. This lets others know that you're someone they can trust. But what moves people most is honesty. When what you say matches what you do, others sense that you're genuine. No one expects you to be perfect, but when you stay true to yourself, others feel comfortable around you. They know you're honest, and that's exactly what creates deep, genuine connections. Another way to have a positive impact on others is to see what connects you. People feel understood when they realize you truly see them. If you share similar values or views, a sense of closeness quickly develops. You don't have to change your mind, but you can show that you take the other person's thoughts seriously. This strengthens togetherness and opens doors for genuine understanding, collaboration, and productive conversations. In this way, you demonstrate through your behavior, your words, and your openness that you are someone worthy of trust. And that is often much more effective than any grand speech. Gratitude is often overlooked, but it's a small treasure in everyday life. When you honestly show someone that you appreciate their help, their ideas, or simply their presence, you make them very happy. You're saying, "I see you, and I'm glad you're here." This creates warmth and closeness between people. It helps you feel good around one another. When you're grateful, you look for the good in your life and in others. This creates stronger connections because everyone feels accepted and important, and you often get this good feeling back from others. Humility is another great trait that helps you get along well with others. Being confident is great, but thinking you're better than everyone else can easily offend others. When you're humble, you show, "I know something, but I'm also willing to learn." You admit when you've made a mistake and listen attentively to others. This shows that you take them seriously. When you're honest but not boastful, people trust you more. They feel taken seriously and are more likely to talk to you. Your body also speaks without you saying anything. If you stand upright, look at someone and nod or smile in a friendly manner, the other person notices that you are attentive and interested. Your posture and movement show how you feel and whether you are truly engaged. Open, friendly body language helps others feel comfortable and gives them the feeling they can trust you. This creates closeness without many words. A strong sign that someone is important to you is genuine curiosity. When you genuinely want to know what someone is thinking or experiencing and listen carefully, the other person feels seen. People like to talk when they notice that the other person is genuinely interested. Asking questions and listening attentively opens the door to memorable conversations. This creates a genuine sense of togetherness. It's also important that your words and actions match. If you make a promise, stick to it. If you say what's important to you, show it with your behavior. Otherwise, people will eventually stop believing you. But if you stay honest and do what you say, trust will grow. People will then know they can rely on you. Kindness is one of the simplest and most beautiful ways to make others feel good. You don't have to do anything big. A kind word, a smile, a helping hand is often enough. Small gestures like these can go a long way. When you're kind, you infect others with it. It creates an environment where people care about one another. This makes the world a little brighter, for you and for others. If you apply all of these things in your everyday life, you will live with a calm, clear, and honest attitude. Your way of speaking and acting will then demonstrate that you mean well and are genuine. This creates strong and valuable relationships, full of trust, respect, and mutual understanding. This attitude will not only help you in your interactions with others, but also help you move through life with confidence and a good heart. Sometimes, however, it's wisest to say nothing at all. If someone mistreats you or rejects you, it's often better to remain calm rather than responding immediately. This silent behavior shows inner strength. It doesn't mean you're weak, quite the opposite. It means you handle difficult situations with dignity. Silence gives you time to think. And sometimes it's more powerful than any words. In moments like these, you can see how much courage, self-respect, and inner peace you have. Sometimes it's better to remain silent, not because you have nothing to say, but because you can control yourself. When you're rejected, you might want to respond immediately to explain, justify, or defend yourself, but it takes true inner strength to simply remain calm. Remaining silent demonstrates, I know who I am, and I don't need external approval to know my worth. This quiet strength speaks for itself. It shows that you won't let others upset you, no matter what they think. Being silent also gives you the opportunity to reclaim your own story. Rejection sometimes feels like a false judgment, but if you don't respond to it, you hold on to your own truth. You don't allow the opinions of others to belittle you. This is a sign of self-respect. Your silence becomes a protection for your inner peace, your boundaries, and your self-image. There's a lot of power in silence. When you remain calm, even when someone hurts or rejects you, it shows how mature and balanced you are. It means you respect yourself and don't get involved in arguments or drama. Sometimes the other person then reflects on their behavior, not because you said something, but because you didn't. Your silence can be like a mirror that makes them reflect. When you remain silent, you give yourself time. Rejection triggers many emotions. You might feel sad, angry, or confused, but if you say or do something immediately, you might regret it later. In silence, you can first feel and understand all of this, and then decide what's truly important to you. This teaches you to act wisely instead of reacting rashly. This is a huge step in your inner growth. Your silence carries weight. When you choose not to say anything, others have to ask themselves what that means. This can unsettle them or make them think, and sometimes it changes the situation to your advantage. You're showing, my dignity doesn't depend on how you treat me. Rejection doesn't take anything away from you. It doesn't change who you are. When you stay calm, you break the habitual cycle of agitation and argument. Instead, you use your power for your own growth. This way you stay in control, not the rejection. Even in relationships, silence is sometimes an act of self-love. When someone you care about disappoints you, it hurts. But staying silent isn't about punishing the other person. It's about protecting yourself. By doing so, you set a boundary that allows you to reflect calmly, heal, and move on without unnecessary arguments. This reminds you, you are valuable no matter what others say. Silence can also make you strong. When you remain calm in difficult situations, you have the chance to learn something important about your goals, your values, or your relationships. This quiet time helps you become wiser and more mature. Thus, rejection turns into an opportunity to discover more about yourself. When you stay calm but continue to act, pursuing your goals, working on what's important to you, or staying true to yourself, you show true strength. Then it's no longer about the rejection, but what you do with it. You prove my life isn't determined by a no, but by my next step. Silence can also help you maintain inner peace. Rejection can make you tired, doubt yourself, or jumble your thoughts. But when you choose not to react immediately, you create a quiet space, just for you. There you can draw strength and focus on what really matters without the distraction of outside opinions. Even in your professional life, it can be smart to stay calm when things don't go as you hoped. Maybe you get rejected or someone says something unkind. If you remain calm, you appear strong and mature. You show that you can handle difficult moments, and people often remember that more than if you had said something. Sometimes it's best to be quiet, not because you have nothing to say, but because you learn to trust yourself. Being rejected can trigger feelings of insecurity. You might then want to be reassured that you're still good enough. But if you rely solely on the opinions of others, you quickly lose your footing. Silence means turning inward and finding strength there. It reminds you that your worth doesn't come from others, but rather lies within yourself, in your courage, your values, and your self-confidence. Staying silent doesn't mean you're completely shutting yourself off. It just means you're giving yourself time. Not speaking immediately allows you to reflect, better understand the situation, and then act with calm and clarity. Your words, when you finally speak them, will be considered and honest, not simply a quick reaction triggered by hurt feelings. This way, your silence becomes a pause that helps you choose your next step wisely. Your silence can also send a silent message to others. If you don't engage in an insulting conversation or allow yourself to be belittled, you're showing how you want to be treated. You're setting an example that respect and decency are important to you. People notice that you have boundaries and that you're not willing to be mistreated. This fosters mutually respectful relationships. Silence also helps you remain humble. You don't have to respond to every opinion or justify yourself. Your behavior and character often speak louder than words. When you stop constantly trying to prove yourself, you become freer. You feel, I am enough just the way I am, no matter what others think. Silence isn't weakness, quite the opposite. It shows that you're not fazed. It says quietly but clearly, I know who I am, and that won't change just because someone doesn't acknowledge me. This kind of strength often stays with you for a long time. It shifts your focus away from what hurt and toward your inner stability. When you remain still in a difficult moment, you move through a situation that could hurt you with serenity and inner calm. You don't hide your feelings, but you also don't waste energy on things that don't benefit you. Instead, you direct your energy where it's good for you, on your own growth, on your inner peace. In this way, you reclaim your power and demonstrate that you are in control of your own life. Silence after rejection also shows you that you don't always have to be loud to be strong. Sometimes the greatest power lies in what you don't say. If you carry this attitude with you in life, you will learn to see things more clearly. The older you get, the more you will realize your time and energy are precious. It's not about pleasing everyone or constantly adapting. It's about respecting yourself, maintaining your boundaries, and surrounding yourself with people who build you up, not those who exploit or hurt you. Now is the time to focus on peace, development, and fulfilling relationships. Anything that distracts you from that can go. The people you surround yourself with have a strong influence on your well-being. Some people are constantly in a bad mood, constantly demanding attention, or overstepping your boundaries. At first, these things might seem like small things, a comment here, a conversation that goes on too long there. But over time, these encounters drain your energy. If you allow this to happen, you often unconsciously carry the burden of other people's feelings and problems with you. This burden can prevent you from finding inner peace, but if you consciously distance yourself from such people, you make room for new positive connections. Friendships that nourish you make you happy and align with your values. They give you space to focus on what really matters. Sometimes it's difficult but important to recognize when a connection with someone is no longer good for you. You often want to remain loyal, especially when you've known someone for a long time, but even close relationships can change. It's not easy to let go, but true loyalty starts with yourself. You can't live a peaceful, fulfilling life if you're constantly drawn into drama or negative feelings. Saying goodbye doesn't mean you're unfeeling. It's a sign that you value yourself and are taking care of your own happiness. It's about staying true to yourself and making room for people who enrich your life, not burden it. Being with people who don't respect your personal boundaries can be very stressful in the long run. Such boundaries aren't walls that separate you. They're like signposts that show how you want to be treated. If someone repeatedly ignores these signs, it means that your well-being and inner peace aren't important to them. Perhaps it's a family member who expects you to always have time, or a friend who wants a lot from you but gives little in return. Such encounters can exhaust you internally. When you withdraw from such relationships, you find your strength and inner stability again. In doing so, you make it clear, I am important, my boundaries matter. Even if it's not easy, you are protecting your emotional balance and inner strength. Especially later in life, It's good to stay away from people who constantly cause unrest. Some people love arguments or look for problems everywhere. At first, you may want to help or calm things down, but in doing so, you often get sucked into their emotional whirlwind. Such people can drain your energy. You often feel restless and far from your own peace afterward. Especially later in life, calm is more important than ever. When you surround yourself with people who are calm and clear-hearted, you will feel more balance and inner peace. Money also plays a big role in our relationships. If someone is heavily dependent on you, whether financially or through constant help, this can lead to tension. Of course, you want to support people you care about. But it's important to honestly feel where your strength ends. You don't have to give everything, especially if it throws you off balance. If you take good care of yourself and keep your own needs in mind, you can also help with confidence, especially when it's really needed. It's also not good to constantly surround yourself with people who don't share your inner values. Especially as you mature, it becomes increasingly important that your environment matches what you feel in your heart. If someone repeatedly contradicts what you believe, you may feel small or wrong. These tensions can make relationships difficult. Instead, having people in your life who understand and respect your beliefs creates a space where you can feel safe and supported. Even people who don't want to change or who never address their weaknesses can hold you back. Everyone goes their own way at their own pace, but those who always close themselves off create stagnation. If you want to grow, you need people around you who are open to development and inner learning. In such an environment, you feel encouraged. Everyone is allowed to make mistakes and turn them into something good. It also becomes difficult when someone constantly wants to be the center of attention and constantly demands your attention. Such people often expect you to always take care of them. Over time, you can forget about yourself. You may notice that you're constantly adapting and neglecting your own desires. When you break away from such relationships, space opens up for yourself again. For what is good for you, brings you joy, and fulfills you. There are also people who barely show that they appreciate you and what you give. They take what you give, but never say thank you. Over time, this can weaken your sense of self. In good relationships, both sides respect each other. Everyone feels, I am seen, I matter. When you're with people who show you appreciation, you feel alive and connected. You know that you matter and that what you give truly means something. Later in life, it's especially important not to carry bitterness with you. People who never take responsibility for their behavior and always blame others create a stressful environment. If no one takes responsibility for their actions, many things remain unresolved. But you shouldn't burden yourself with problems that aren't even yours. When you're surrounded by people who are honest about themselves, a relationship of maturity and respect develops. Everyone knows, I am responsible for my actions. This creates healthier and deeper relationships. Some people also disturb your inner peace because they don't respect your freedom. They want to control you or constantly interfere. But especially as you mature, it's important that you are allowed to shape your own life, the way you want it. You need people by your side who encourage you to live your own life. People who don't impose their ideas on you, but support you in being completely yourself. Sometimes you meet people who constantly spread worry or doubt. They often talk about their fears and, without realizing it, infect others. This can lead to you starting to doubt yourself or no longer daring to follow your own path. However, if you spend time with people who think kindly and encourage you, you'll feel stronger and more likely to pursue your dreams. With such people by your side, you can grow and develop freely. Recognizing when a connection is no longer good for you doesn't mean rejecting someone. It means taking good care of yourself. Some people are just with us part of the way, and that's okay. The people you surround yourself with influence how you feel. When you distance yourself from those who don't support you or who repeatedly hurt you, you open your heart to encounters that are truly good for you. Relationships that strengthen you give you the strength to live a happy and fulfilling life. The older you get, the more clearly you can recognize what's important to you. You sense which people are good for you and which aren't. You can shape your life so that it's peaceful, joyful, and meaningful. When you have people around you who support you and are honest with you, you show how much you respect your own path and what you've learned from it. Now is your time. The path you've taken has made you strong. The people who accompany you should see and appreciate the good in you. The relationships you cultivate and those you let go of determine how free and peaceful you feel. Choosing a life with meaning and clarity also includes saying goodbye to what no longer serves you. These quiet decisions help you make space for what is truly dear to you. They remind you that it's important to stay true to yourself and not allow yourself to be distracted by unnecessary baggage. The first step is to let go of stressful thoughts. If you notice yourself repeatedly worrying or putting yourself down, simply observe these thoughts without judging them, and then gently direct your attention to what's there. This will strengthen your mind and create space for new, encouraging ideas. Another important step is to stop constantly seeking praise or approval. If you only believe in yourself when others like you, you're giving them power over your self-esteem. But you should know, your worth lies within you, not in the opinions of others. Once you recognize this, you can courageously and honestly follow your own path. Even things you don't really need can weigh you down. Constantly wanting more doesn't automatically make you happy. Limiting your home to only what brings you joy or benefit will create order and inner peace. It's not about owning little, it's about consciously keeping what's truly important to you. Difficult relationships that constantly make you feel bad can end. Sometimes you cling on out of a sense of duty, but that can drain your energy. When you calmly and clearly set boundaries, you protect your heart. This creates space for connections that are good for you. When you have too many appointments or tasks, there's hardly any time left for yourself. Learn to say no politely without feeling guilty. This way, you'll gain more time for what matters to you, and your life will become calmer and more meaningful again. Expectations that are too high or too rigid can also be disappointing. Trying to do everything perfectly or trying to change others often leads to frustration. If you instead accept what is, you'll feel lighter and be able to be happy with what you have. Comparing yourself to others can be depressing. If you only focus on what others have or what they've achieved, you lose sight of your own strengths. When you focus on your own path and honor your steps, your self-confidence grows. You learn to value yourself. It also helps to let go of things that distract you, whether it's constantly checking your phone or conversations that leave you feeling empty. When you consciously direct your attention, you can better focus on what's truly important to you. And finally, let go of the fear of making mistakes. It often holds you back from trying new things, but mistakes are part of the learning process. If you see them as part of your growth, you can develop freely and follow your heart, without being held back by fear. When you hold on to anger or disappointment for a long time, your heart becomes heavy. It feels like you're carrying a backpack full of rocks. Letting go doesn't mean saying that was okay. It means freeing yourself from feeling the same pain over and over again. When you forgive others or yourself, your heart becomes lighter and your mind calmer. This allows you to move on without constantly carrying the old with you. Every time you let go of something that's not good for you, you show that you care about yourself. You make room for things that are truly good for you. This means you focus on what you can influence and let go of what's beyond your control. When you let go of things that burden you, your life becomes simpler, more peaceful, and more authentic. It's not about making everything perfect, but about being honest with yourself and living according to what's truly important to you. When you're cleaning up inside, letting go of old worries, fears, or bad thoughts, it's just as important to take care of your body. Treating yourself well also means eating well. Your body carries you through your entire life. If you give it what it needs, you'll stay strong and healthy, even as you get older. What you eat has a lot to do with how you feel and how you age. Some foods help your body stay healthy, while others are more harmful. By learning which foods are good for you, you can take better care of yourself, simply by choosing the foods you eat every day. Some foods protect your body particularly well. They contain substances that prevent your cells from being damaged. These substances are called antioxidants. You find them primarily in dark berries like blueberries or blackberries. They help you keep your memory sharp, your skin healthy, and generally feel better. Certain fats are also really good for your body, especially those from avocados or nuts. They keep your skin supple, help your brain think, and combat toxins in your body that can make you sick. If you eat these fats regularly, you'll stay energized for longer. Green vegetables like spinach or kale are packed with good nutrients. They help your body repair itself. They protect your eyes and ensure your digestion functions properly. Even though they're sometimes not so popular, they can make you strong and resilient. Then there are special foods that have long been used to keep the body healthy. Fermented foods like yogurt, kimchi, or kefir. They contain live bacteria that help your gut function properly. And a healthy gut doesn't just help with digestion, it also strengthens your immune system and can even improve your mood. Spices can do much more than just taste good. Turmeric, for example, helps your body fight inflammation, which protects your joints and brain. Cinnamon can help balance blood sugar, which helps your body stay healthy. Whole grain products like quinoa or farro provide long-lasting energy and important nutrients like magnesium. They help your heart stay strong, support digestion, and give you strength, even as you age. A very simple but extremely helpful drink is green tea. It protects cells, helps your body process energy, and calms your mind at the same time. Those who drink it regularly often feel clearer in their heads and have healthier skin. It can also help prevent diseases that occur more frequently with age. Incorporating certain foods into your daily routine isn't about looking younger. It's about taking good care of your body. It's a simple, honest, and natural way of thinking about aging. When you give your body what it needs, you'll not only feel stronger, but also more vibrant and internally stable. With every decision you make about what you eat, you demonstrate what's important to you in life. When you eat things that are good for you, you show that you value your body. It's like a quiet thank you to yourself and the path you're currently on. When you incorporate healthy foods into your diet, you shape your life in a way that allows for strength, mindfulness, and the power to treat yourself well. These aren't huge changes. They're small, loving steps you take to support yourself. Every meal that's good for you brings you a step closer to a life where you feel strong and alert. It's all about finding balance between your body and your inner self. When you strengthen your body, you also strengthen your courage and clarity, allowing you to approach each day with joy and purpose. When you choose good food, you shape your later life so that it's not just about perseverance, but about truly being there. When you take good care of yourself, you show yourself respect. A fulfilling life also includes recognizing your own worth, not someday, but now. If you like this thought, you can say to yourself, I have strength within me. This reminds you that you already have the strength you need within you. Recognizing that you can give your best today has a lot to do with the idea of taking responsibility for your own life. It's not about being better than others or constantly comparing yourself to them. It's about focusing on your possibilities and acting consciously. Every day is an opportunity to get up and show who you want to be, with the values that truly matter to you. One of the greatest freedoms you can have is the realization that you don't have to be perfect. It's not about doing everything flawlessly. It's about developing yourself further every day. The ancient Stoics said, it's not perfection, but moving forward that makes life worthwhile. When you understand that growth is a path and not a destination, the pressure diminishes. This allows you to focus on the small steps that move you forward day by day. You don't waste energy on things you can't influence, but instead use your energy for what is possible for you today. This creates a sense of direction and inner movement. To bring out the best in yourself, you need a kind of gentle determination. This inner strength doesn't mean being hard on yourself. It means sticking with what's important to you, whether it's your work, your family, or how you treat yourself. This quiet strength helps you stick with it. It turns small decisions into something meaningful. It gives you confidence in yourself and the belief that you can achieve what's important to you. It's not about being perfect. It's about keeping showing up, even if the steps are small. Self-belief also plays a big role, but that's not about showing off. It means that you know and appreciate your own worth. You know you're valuable, not because others say so, but because you know yourself well. When you think this way, you stop depending on praise or criticism. You begin to trust in your own abilities. This gives you courage and clarity. You can then make decisions that truly suit you, without fear of what others think. You realize you have the strength to handle any situation well. It's equally important to focus on your own path. It's easy to compare yourself to others, but that often leads to feeling bad or envious. The Stoics reminded us, you should only compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. When you focus on your own growth, you become grateful for what you've already achieved. You then want to continue developing, not out of pressure, but out of joy. This way you stay true to yourself instead of comparing yourself to others. That makes your path unique. And that's exactly what makes it special. Gratitude is like an inner light that changes your perspective. When you pause for a moment and notice what you've already accomplished, what's available to you and what opportunities you have, your life feels richer. You realize you already have much within you to successfully navigate your path. This feeling of having enough brings peace and joy. It helps you truly live in the moment. And when you appreciate what you have, it's easier to make the most of what lies ahead. A strong life also involves taking responsibility. The Stoics remind us that while we can't determine what happens, we can decide how we deal with it. When you stand up for your decisions, you reclaim your power. You stop blaming others or fate for your problems and realize that your reactions shape your life. This gives you the courage to move forward with clarity and purpose, even when things get difficult, because you know that the power to shape your life lies within you. Living mindfully means being fully present in what you're doing. When you're mindful, you make conscious decisions and act thoughtfully. It's easy to get distracted or just function, but mindfulness brings you back to the present moment. Whether you're doing something small or planning something big, when you stay mindful, everything makes more sense. You see things more clearly, recognize what's good for you, and feel how much meaning there is in every moment. Strength is often shown in how you deal with setbacks. Life brings challenges. That's unavoidable. But you can decide how you respond to them. The Stoics saw difficulties as an opportunity to grow. Every problem is like a mini-test. It shows you how determined you are, what you can learn, and how much you can exceed your own expectations. When you view obstacles as part of your path, you turn them into steps on which you continue to climb. This builds your confidence in yourself. You know you can always get back up. Being yourself is a gift. It doesn't mean becoming like someone else or fulfilling expectations that aren't yours. It means showing through your actions what you feel deep down and what's important to you. When you live according to your own values, you feel that what you do suits you. This gives you inner stability and makes you proud. Forgiveness is a step forward. Everyone makes mistakes. It's a part of life. But if you hold on to those mistakes, your path will be difficult. When you forgive yourself, you let go of old burdens. Then you can learn and start anew. And when you forgive others, your heart becomes freer. Forgiving doesn't mean being weak. On the contrary, it shows strength. It means you want to look forward to a tomorrow with more peace. When you take good care of yourself, you give yourself the chance to show your best. Pay attention to your body, your thoughts, and your feelings. Then you have the strength to pursue your goals. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, but an important habit for living a healthy and fulfilling life. Whether you're exercising, resting, or doing something you enjoy, it helps you find new energy. Curiosity is like an inner compass that guides you to growth. The Stoics believed that you can learn something from everything. If you remain curious, you are open to new ideas and willing to broaden your perspective. This allows you to develop further, and your life becomes more exciting and colorful. When you acknowledge what you've accomplished, you strengthen your motivation. Even small successes are important. They show you that your effort counts. When you consciously acknowledge them, your self-confidence grows, and you gain the momentum to keep going. Celebrating doesn't mean standing still. It means being proud of what lies behind you and being ready for what lies ahead. If you want to be your best today, live with clarity, with your own determination, and with honesty. It's not about being better than others. It's about recognizing and embracing your own potential. This creates a life that aligns with your values, honors your efforts, and encourages others to follow their own courageous path. The teachings of the Stoics show you your best self isn't something that emerges at some point. It's something you can practice every day. Inner peace doesn't mean being alone, but rather feeling a good connection with yourself. When you spend time with yourself, let go of things that don't serve you well, set clear boundaries, and become independent, you will find peace within. The Stoics teach, silence can teach you something, simplicity can set you free, and a goal can help you overcome difficulties. Inner peace isn't a destination you reach at some point in time. It begins the moment you decide to live according to your values. Take a moment now to think about what has particularly touched you. Perhaps you'd like to share your thoughts with others. Sometimes your words can be helpful to others as well. If this path has given you food for thought, please stay and come back to learn more about inner growth, Stoic thinking, and living a meaningful life. Together we can create a life that is strong, calm, and full of power. We'll see you on your journey.